Welcome to Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night. My name is Kevin Barnes, and this is Outlaw Radio. Outlaw Radio, Monkey Business on a Wednesday night. Monkey Business. Yes, I did say that. There's a lot going on in the city tonight. The streets is on fire. Man, hit like, hit share, hit follow, man. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Outlaw Radio is in the building. The Negro Whisperer himself and my brother Relly Rail. What's going on with you, bro? How you doing?
Hey, man. Blessed to be here. Blessed to see another day.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hope the rest of the crew come along eventually. But
For
we'll
sure.
see. We'll see. But we're gonna get off into it. Check us out Mondays and Wednesdays for Outlaw Radio. The Big Black Sports Show is coming back. I just we just wanted football to get started back because we really like to say it's called a Big Black Sports Show because it covers black sports or sports that black people care about, right? Like he was like, "That's terrible, Kevin. That's horrible."
Damn.
Oh well. But yeah, man. So welcome to the show, man. Monkey Business. Like I say, man, it's always a pleasure to be able to do this, man. And if you want to get in the conversation, the phone number is 262-202-5131. I'm gonna say it a little slower. 262-202-5131. Running across the bottom of the screen, along with the Cash App, right? I feel like we don't say it enough. It's down there. I'm just saying. Laura, she said, "Hello, everyone. How you doing, my sister? Welcome to the
Good
show."
evening.
This will be a very interesting show because like sometimes we talk about things on this show, and we kind of it's kind of like a precursor to certain other things happen, right? Because in many different ways, and I'm just gonna really jump into why I even decided to call this Monkey Business.
For sure.
So we've talked about the violence in this city, correct? And we've
Yep.
talked about what work has actually been done, what's being done, what plans are put in place, who's moving, who's shaking, who's doing this and that, right? We talk and we've discussed the precarious position of the Office of Violence Prevention simply because of the name of it, right? Just that name for like it's like you kind of setting yourself up. And so I like. And that's not to knock the work that those brothers do because they've been on the show. Shout out to Ray Mendoza and my brother Tay. They've been on the show. So I know that they out here, and I know it's a lot of other people there who may be dedicated to it. But this is a long-lasting thing with us here on Outlaw Radio. Years back when Reggie Moore was still in charge, of brother Reggie Moore and Liz Brown was on, we had this thing because Liz was actually very critical of what they were doing. Me having love for Ray and Tay, I was kind of like, well, I was kind of like in the middle. But we brought Reggie Moore on. He brought so many people from the office. That's neither here nor there. The big news is the sister, Anita Holloman, who's in charge of basically in charge of the Office of Violence Prevention, was fired today. This comes on the heels of the other night, the discussion when I was saying we're trending in the wrong direction. I don't know if you remember this conversation. I wanted to be here for this. I wanted to be here for this. Now you all got at me as can we not use statistical analysis and the correlations? Apparently, I'm not alone because what does this say? Rail, now come on, look, y'all got to give me my credit when I deserve it. Now,
Hey, you're a realist.
Listen, it didn't take a genius. It doesn't take a genius to look at what's going on in the city of Milwaukee and say, damn, this shit's trending in the wrong direction. This is not things, and it's not just a statistical thing. But so this is we're gonna talk about all that tonight. So if you want to get in the conversation, the chat room's on deck. 262-202-5131. Is she falling on the sword? Is this because it's a new kind of new thing? Well, no, she just came in January. So, but yeah, she is new, but it's kind of like a new day, like a new regime. A lot of people say the mayor's still Barrett's lapdog. He just over in Europe eating, liverwurst and drinking wine or whatever the hell you do over there.
Liverwurst.
Right, whatever it is. I didn't know no fine like German sausages and shit. I don't even think that's German, right? I don't know.
I don't even know.
So what does this say to you, Real, when you see? Because I know you say I don't really pay attention to that, but what did it say to you when you see something
Did,
like that?
did they say? Did they say what led to her termination? Like, was
Not
it
a word.
some? Okay,
Not a
so
word.
so they just probably. I mean, maybe they just trying to, what they say, go in a new direction. Maybe they
Right.
try to go into a new
Right.
direction.
A new direction. Right.
Right.
Now here's the deal. Oh my gosh, man, because I done been in this. Like I be firing off sometimes. People think he don't know what the hell he talking about. Way back when she started, I said she came in and said, well, she wanted to focus on mental health issues,
Mm,
which are indeed a part of the problem. But I would think Reggie Moore had them going in more of a community based kind of
okay.
community interaction policing type of thing. And I don't know if he considered the mental health to be kind of like under all of one umbrella, but that wasn't his singular focus. So I said, how does this work? Because now is she gonna like switch the direction of the agency? I wasn't sure, but I was like, okay, this is gonna be crazy. And so now we haven't heard from her. I don't know what the situation was. It just said that she was advised today that her time as the director
Mm,
or whatever was done. So once again, I say to you, like in a city like Milwaukee, where of course socioeconomics play into everything so deeply, right? So unless you have like an office of violence prevention, or maybe a component of this office should contain some kind of economic pathway for black people or for people of color in the community, like it's okay to come on and say, hey, we don't want no violence in the community. We want to mediate, we want to talk, we want to get things kind of calm. But it's another thing to come in there and say, hey, y'all, look, they have this training program for CNC machining out here. They have welding classes out here. I can
mm,
hook you up with all of this, bro. Get you out of here. You go in this apprenticeship program, make $20 an hour. Wishfully thinking, right? This is what I would be saying would have to be in place, because you can't just go to people and say, get off the street, stop wilding, without giving them some alternative to say, hey, because a lot of that's what creates the violence anyways. We all poor as hell trying to get that paper, and we out here, and it's like, man, if you in my way, he say it's on its own, right? Like, so
right.
I don't want to break my arm patting myself on the back, right? Like, but I mean, I once again, and I'm not saying I'm some sort of genius, because I think there's a lot of real kind of logical, like aware people who have looked at this. And that's not to say that anybody else who didn't agree with me the other night is not, an informed, aware person. It's the main thing I'm saying is, on this level of how things are looked at or perceived, is the group that I'm with.
hmm
And then some people say, like the brother Kamar was saying, nah, it ain't going in the wrong direction, because I see spiritual people. I'm around the people who I'm around. I see them doing great things. I think it's micro versus macro. And so
That's what you said.
on this level, I think there should be a lot. I don't know. I'd like to hear her story. Is she gonna come back and sue and say, "No, they fired me unjustifiably," or will she come out and say, we just what we wanted, just we wasn't on the same kind of path. What we didn't want to say in the same direction, like you said. But also, you find out that, and then they said in the next few years, over $11 million will be coming through the Office of Violence Prevention, right? To kind of go in there and infuse some new program. I don't know if they want to hire new people, but obviously they didn't feel like she should be a part of this 11 million that's about to come falling through. One thing
Yeah.
I also said is, how many times have they been promised? Because every time we had like an outbreak of violence, Barrett would have like a press conference with everybody and say, well, I'm going to donate $8 million in the Office of Violence and Prevention. And I'm like, damn, they've been promised this $8 million about 5 different times. When are they going to do this shit, right? So, yeah, man, just another sign of what's going on in the city. Once again, I can't knock the job that she's doing, and I don't know or what she done, because they are a social service nonprofit agency, basically, right? And they're kind of saddled with something that, like, you would think this would be a division of the police department.
Yeah, that's what you
You know what
said.
I mean? Because you putting people, they say, well, people won't talk to them. Well, are they really talking to them? The people, I mean, like, that sounds like I'm questioning what they're doing when I'm not. I don't know if that's coming out right, but so I'm saying the people are the people that you're dealing with. So if it's
Right.
I guess on some level, and then you could But if you mix the street dudes with the cops, then street dudes ain't gonna talk because they're gonna be like, nah, bro, you fuck with them people. I'm not fucking with you. You know how that goes. It's
Right.
a whole crazy dynamic. It's a complex puzzle, and that's why I'm saying that that office has to have all kinds of different levels of like structure to it so that it can address at least some of the things that are really causing the problems with the violence. So I just think the name of it is a little challenging. He walked the great. What's popping with you?
No, bear with me for a minute, man. I tried to say what up on Facebook, but I forgot they put me in jail for 6 days around this bitch. Man, females is dumb. They talk about I was did something. All I said was some females be dumb. I think they got a special Facebook police motherfucker fuck with me, man.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't think. You know what? I don't think the police need to get no more money. That ain't gonna help solve no problem, man. I was in Chicago and I drove all the way. I got off the highway. I drove all the way up Cap. You know what I'm saying? Where you be at? All the way to my brother's house on like 70th and shit. You know what I'm saying? Close to Appleton. Man, it still look good. Both cities, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see nothing. Nobody did nothing while I was there, man. I'm like, man, so it's sucker on sucker or a sucker hating somebody for doing something type of thing going on. So the therapy ain't finna come from funding no police or trying to get him some more money. That's the point
No,
I'm trying
no,
to make. I
no.
think you touched on that.
No, it wasn't. I wasn't saying give them more money. I was saying the Office of Violence Prevention, which has $11 million, should probably be something that's run through the police, not giving them the money, but just that money for that office is there for this organization is there. So why not have them have more support? I know I was definitely not talking about give the Milwaukee Police Department no more money. They just
Yeah,
had to come
as
in and
more support
manage
as
it.
far as showing up, somebody showing up when like somebody with a mental disorder or something like that, like counselors and that. Yeah, that's a good place to put the money. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, not get them no new car that's bulletproof and shit. They don't need that. Don't nobody even mess with the police, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Black people scared of the police, man. They'll slap their uncle upside the head with a pistol. When they see that blue light, they'll put all the guns they got in their house on the ground and put their hands up. Shit, scared of the police.
You know
So
what?
all of that they fear for their life, that's bullshit. Anybody, you know what I'm saying? I'm built like it because if they try to get me, I'm old enough to be like, oh well, man. They gonna have to get me. You know what
But
I'm
you
saying?
talking about sending crisis workers, and maybe that's what the sister Anita Holman wanted to do because she kept saying her
That's what I was
focus
talking
would
about.
be mental health. She said her focus she wanted it to be mental health. She wanted to really address mental health. And so I thought that was pretty good, but was this where they clashed at? We don't know yet because we haven't heard what everybody, we haven't heard everybody's input. I'm just because this just happened today. So I'm just saying whatever they're doing right now in the Office of Violence Prevention, I guess in some regards is based on this great plan. And I'm sure they're having success in certain areas, but overall it's not working. Right. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
I don't think it's enough money either. 11 million ain't enough. That ain't shit. That's the drop in the bucket. You know what I'm saying? We got something real bad going on. You know, with people that really are in crisis. That really do need some therapy, man. Shit, people nuts.
yeah.
Young people is nuts, man.
Yeah, I think
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
another thing to talk about because obviously our young people right now is the way they move is some in them. I don't. Some people say trauma. Some of these kids ain't traumatized. Some of
No,
these
they
kids
not.
they
You know what I'm
just
saying? They know what they doing. They doing it because they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? They got a pocket full of money. They perking and leaning. They gotta have some money to do that with. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They driving and shit. They got more. They got more than a person that's making 100,000 a year the hard way
Right.
and still mad. You know, some of them still mad. They got a pocket. They still mad. That anger, man. Where is that all coming from? They angry still. They don't get no fuck.
Man, I just like I said, I was fully aware of the fact that things in this city are going in the wrong direction. And so now I'm not saying there's not some positive things happening here. And I'm not saying there's not some people here who are very positive in the community trying to make it happen. But for whatever
No doubt.
reason, since this city is basically a city of silos, right? Like, so whoever the Office of Violence Prevention rocks with is who they rock with. There's no open networking, right? Like for them to be able to even get some satellite, some satellite kind of, buildings or some satellite centers. That's instead of being in one place, having them all over the community. So, like I proposed a long time ago, you have enough money in the police budget, and you have enough abandoned retail property in the middle of the city, throughout the city, to open up satellite police stations, right? To just you open a substation here with 3 cars, and it's 6 blocks over, substation with 3-4 cars, and just have them patrol those areas. You don't have to hire a bunch of other cops. You don't have to waste a bunch of money because you already got damn near $500 million in your budget, and you got COVID money coming too. So I would rather even see that, you know what I mean, then then support the OVP and support whoever else is out here in the community on the grassroots level trying to do violence prevention. Instead of
I definitely support it too. So I don't want to get the wrong impression. You know what I'm saying about I ain't finna get on here and start talking about some defund the police. We definitely need them, but guess what? We definitely need them to do what they get paid for too. You know what I'm saying? Because we got enough of them already. If they did what they get paid to do already, they been had enough money. They got more money in the police stations and in the budget, out of the budget. They keep getting it and they keep getting it. You know what I'm saying? Talking about, well, we need more, we need more. I just want people to be understanding about the fact that that money ain't going nowhere but to somewhere where it don't belong. You know what I'm saying? They already done got paid for what they supposed to been doing anyway. That's
you know what though? I'm gonna be honest.
That I want people to get.
I'm gonna be honest with both of y'all. Shout out to Tiarsha Arthur and Sonia Thrower. And if you out there and you listen to the show, shout out to you. 262-202-5131. Black people should be careful sometimes with what they say, right? just because as far as what? Black people be like, man, fuck the police. I ain't talking to no goddamn cops. We don't need no more cops. Fuck them cops. And then they be like, man, but we could. Where the police said we could use some more cops though. Like ain't even good is bad. If we operate with that attitude, and I'm once again playing devil's advocate, I'm saying if we saying fuck the police and all that, we don't want them motherfuckers over here, we don't trust them, then
because they show up, they don't protect nothing. They show up afterwards. But then, that's when they want to get answers and shit to make their job easy. Well, okay, just tell on your friend and we'll go get them. We'll go get them on a search warrant later.
So I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? With all of that,
be somewhere where you can stop the shit.
Even with all of that, we're not policing our own communities, because we could say we don't want them over there. We could say fuck that shit, man. We ain't talking to no cops and all that. But would you rather the community just exist in a flux like it is, or say, nah, to be honest with you, man, we probably need some law enforcement over here. Now here comes the problem. Because regular law-abiding citizens who ain't trying to be in the street life, who ain't trying to be gangsters, who ain't trying to be thugged, whatever, they say, I don't motherfucking mind talking to the police. I ain't doing shit. What y'all? Yeah, this is my house. I just bought this house. Yeah, them motherfuckers over there. And look, I used to do aldermanic walks, right, with Safe and Sound. And we have aldermen, we'd have police, we'd have DPW, we'd have the people who do the all of the work into the civil service. We just walk through a neighborhood, walk up the alleys, abandoned houses. They go up in them to make sure they ain't, weed spots and crack houses. And I know for a fact, when we walk up on that porch, ding dong, the homeowners would come on the porch and say, yeah, them motherfuckers over there, they just moved in 6 months ago. Yeah, they doing something over there, definitely, but it ain't none of my business. And then they friends with him, and I guess they cousin. They tell you the whole thing. So these are property owners. Now the youngsters, 5-0 nigga, they running, and I'm like, dude, oh, it's a raid. They run. No, it ain't no raid, bro. We just doing the neighborhood walk. And so I'm just saying, I said all that to say that we don't want to talk to the police. We don't want to be involved. We don't want them to be involved in our community, but we ain't doing shit to keep our community safe. That's what I'm saying.
We got to E equal MC squared the whole equation though, Kev. What I'm saying. How many times have somebody called because they got somebody who's actually on medicine, who needs their medicine, and they have to call the police on them? They end up killing your family member. That happens all too many times. You know what I'm saying? They show up and they coming out, you know what I'm saying? They blazing hot. No, this man needs some help. He ain't took his pills today. They kill him. ID everybody on the block, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, give me that. They put their hand out and shit with their forefinger and their thumb. You got any ID? Motherfucker, I got the right to say no, and I don't need now. I don't know what the fuck just happened right there. They want to fucking pin you up and shit, goddamn it, because of something you ain't got nothing to do with. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to do what they doing, but they keep getting funding for not policing in the right motherfucking fashion. So I don't like that part of it. You know, they show up and they kill your family member. Shit, don't call. I would never call the police on nobody, man. I'm gonna make a motherfucker sit down in the corner with that 10-4 cap on. Sit your ass down, man.
Yeah, that sounds good. That sounds good. But you get a situation where we had earlier, or last year, where the dude snapped out. He just killed the mother, killed his kids, killed his wife, killed everybody in the house, and got on the phone and called the police and said, "Yeah, come on through here and get me. I just killed everybody in the crib." This just
Well, okay,
happened in Milwaukee. So,
that's a situation. You know
so
what I'm
is
saying?
you
That's a
talking about?
situation. You know
You
what I'm
talking
saying?
about?
Of
I'd have
course.
made him sit down in the corner. No, the fuck you wouldn't have. You'd have been sitting in the corner crying, "Hey, this motherfucker been shoot me, man." After you done seen him kill his own kids. So I
Well,
say no. I
if I'm there, the
will.
motherfucker ain't gonna do it. I keep mine on me, but you know
I
that's a different
will.
story.
I will call the police on your ass. You come up in my house acting all crazy like that, and you got that crazy dude strength. I'm calling the police on your ass. Yes, I am. But you say, "Oh, Kev, you out of order." Bullshit. I ain't got time to be wrestling with him. So, and I'm like you say, I'm gonna have my thing to hold him at bay too. Like, hey, bro, you gonna have to chill. Y'all better come get him. Y'all better hurry up, because I'm finna, So I'm just saying, I get it. Police fuck up all the time, right? They fuck up all the time. People get killed. In particular, it looks like black people,
But it's
disproportionately
too many.
compared
It's too many of them
compared
that
to
shouldn't be.
white people
It's
who
too
get
many of
killed.
them that shouldn't. It's too many of them that shouldn't be police. They should have better training. If they don't use funds, you get better training. You know what I'm saying? Because they're gonna milk the money up anyway, right? Use the money for what it's meant for. That's the only point I'm trying to make. So people have conversational skills. They know how to communicate with the people who they're talking to. Learn who you speaking to and the type of language they speak, because it's the same shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they'll pull up on you talking about some bro and shit and think they talking some ebonics, halfway slick.
I don't know. I'm
You know
not
what I'm
familiar
saying?
with what they learn in the academy. I would have to look at the actual curriculum. I don't know that
Not
they
too
don't
much.
teach them. I don't know that they don't have conflict resolution skill, like training
Well,
skills and
hey,
whatnot.
real, I'm gonna let you take this one. You know what I'm saying? Let him know that they don't teach them that much. As long as the class ain't for 6 months, I'm gonna move on it
All
and
right.
let somebody else call in.
All right, E. Shout out, shout out, shout
All
out.
right.
Look,
All
I don't
right,
know.
man.
I'm not. I don't never want to be the type of person who be talking and don't be knowing what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because we're saying they need better training, right? That's what we're saying. But is it that the train? So it goes back to what he said. Some people just shouldn't be cops, because is it the training that's not is going wrong, or the cops that's actually violating what they were trained to do? Like, you get what I'm
Uh,
saying? Like, no, you ain't supposed to do that, but you done it anyways. You're aware that that's against policy or procedure, but you done it anyway. So I don't know if you can get them nothing less than a shock collar, like a dog, where every time they do something, you say, "I got your ass." Just, okay, I ain't gonna hit him no more. I mean, come on, like mailmen fuck up, firefighters fuck up,
I
Will Smith
mean,
fucked up.
I think shit. They just like any other job, except when they having a bad day, somebody might lose their life. You know what I'm saying? Like I work in customer service, and when people talk to me, they tell me how friendly I am and how professional. But then I be like, damn, who's these other motherfuckers they talk to? But then I've heard other people, and it's like, man, y'all ain't got no soft skills, no customer service whatsoever, huh? Y'all handling people's lives with these benefits. So I know that there's assholes in every career, but unfortunately, when it comes to law enforcement and things like that, we can't afford for them to succumb to the bitterness that can be caused by a job. I mean, because on the flip side of that, I mean, I try, I try to be empathetic, and I mean, it doesn't justify anything, but I've seen where they were showing how even in some police training, all the targets that they used to practice shooting at was damn near minorities or people of color. You know what I'm saying? So that definitely will take a toll subconsciously if every one of your targets in academy target practice look like a specific group, and just little things like that, or just them walking the beat in an area where they not welcome or look like the people there. I'm sure they come across shit that you know, eventually could take his toll or make them hypersensitive, hyper whatever the fuck. But and again, I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying that I try to consider everything. But on the flip side, like I said, police and law enforcement is one of the careers where a motherfucker can't afford to succumb to their bitterness and bad day.
I okay, so Sonia Thor said the police need more training with the way they come to you. That's the problem more often than not, my sister, is that the police can come off a certain way. And I want to talk about that, but I want to shout out Dre Day. He said, I believe the problem is when cops become 3 or 4 years on the force, they move to detectives and all new cops stay on the street. That makes the street full of naive officers and the veterans sit in the office. Some of them cops can't pass that detect test. So they end up being patrolmen for like 15 years before they finally, finally. So there's some of them who are really seasoned out that be out here. Now I want to talk about like how they come to you, right?
Okay.
And once again, I'm not making excuses for cops at all. But this is a very stressful job. You really are paid to deal with the fucking lowest denominator on in society all day, 8 hours at a time. 6 hours into my shift, I done been to 2 murders, 2 car accidents, 2 dead kids, 1 found dead body, and then I get a call and I pull up and you drunk talking shit. I don't got time to fuck with you, right? Like I'm like, hey man, somebody shut dude up, or I mean, I'm on that. Like, man, look, get out the street, or whatever. Of course, the people be like, man, why dude coming? Motherfucker, I just seen a little murdered 6-year-old. People say you shouldn't be a cop then. Well, what kind of human is really prepared for that? I don't
Right.
know. You know what I'm saying? That's a super challenging. It's if we talking about, he says, see, Ewok says, see it from the whole circle, see the whole square.
Right.
This is
Right.
what we're trying to do because it's a very complicated thing. Because, like you said, when you having a bad day, motherfuckers die, right? Same as a
Right.
firefighter. If he having a bad day and he go to a fire and fuck something up, people die. You having a real bad day, right? Like, so these kinds of like occupations that you take on, like I feel like maybe they need to vet the candidates better, maybe. And people say, well, how, Kev? And I don't know. Once again,
Do they do psych tests like after
I don't know.
every
I don't
like
know.
that'd be something. I don't know if they do it now, but maybe after every 3 to 6 months, a psych test, you know, because the job, I'm sure that shit can weigh on you. You the most hated motherfucker in the neighborhood, but then you the person they calling to get a cat out the tree and shit. You know, it gotta be a you know what I'm saying? But fuck the police, man. And then the next minute, hey officer, can you help me? You know, I don't know.
No,
But
and you dead on. And this is what I've had this discussion with several people. In particular, like I said, man, shout out to Jay who used to be on here. We used to go at this tough because he like, look, I wouldn't call the police. I don't mess with police. I hate police and this and that. And I used to be like, dude, you tell them if you come home, your door's kicked in, your wife laid out, your kids, one of your kids missing, something like that. You ain't gonna call the police. He said, no, I'd go after him myself. I said, oh man, this should sound like a good Charles Bronson movie. But that's not how
right,
it works. And if like the nigga's just pulling off, I'm getting in my car going after him. What you gonna do when you catch him?
right. Because
What
now
you
it's
gonna do?
premeditated and you going to jail. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, some people would say, well, like if my wife and everything laid out, I ain't tripping anyways. It is what it is. That's one side of
Right,
the
right.
coin. But I'm saying, what are you going? How, is this how you gonna solve this problem for real? No, the average person is gonna pull his phone out and hit 911 right away. And even if they're still there, maybe he pursue them and be like, "This is,
Mm-hmm.
some of y'all out there with guns and say, no, Kev, I'm going out that night. I don't know. It'll be a damn good movie, right? Like, so when my point is whenever something happens to you, you call the police. Black people call the police. They be like, where the police at? Call the cops. And then they be like, fuck the police. We ain't fucking with you. So, and it's that little thin line, man, of man, I can't really trust you. And I hate the way you treat me, but you can help me.
Right.
You can't help me, all right? Like, man, somebody bust me in my shit. Like, I can't. Yeah, somebody call the police, man. I'm down and out. Like, so, Dre said it would. They said it would help if our family members and neighbors were on the force. Okay, there we go. Everyone needs help from each other. Yes, I do agree. I do agree with you, Sister Thrower. Listen, there's the thing though. Here's the part of OVP where I also feel like I'd like to know more about the community kind of thing, the community involvement. Has anybody really taken a poll on what they need in the community? And it involves the community? Like, because if I live in an area, if I live in certain areas, I would think when people came and say, man, we here to try to stem some of the violence, what are the trouble spots? Where could you use support at? And they'll give you a list. They breaking in over here, they stealing over here, they them boys over. They'll tell you, like I just said, they'll tell you what's going on. Now, the problem becomes, what do you do with that information? Right.
Right.
And so, because once again, if you're gonna bring street dudes in, which is a good idea to have some dudes from the community who've been out here, but at the same time, it compromises them unless they get to the point where they like, Kev, you know what? I don't even care if it helped this community. And cats want to say, oh, you work with the police? Yeah, but I mean, I'm working with them in the community. I'm not trying to, like, we 50.
Right.
You act like you still out here on the corner, like, you're supposed to be doing something different by now, bro. Like, this nigga still selling Nickelback. Like, come on, man. Like,
right.
I mean, we just got to grow up to a certain degree, man. It's I guess too many of us try to claim that when that's not really even who we are. A lot of I'm a street nigga, dog. I'm a street nigga. Look, not really, not no more. If of a certain age, done bought you a house, got some kids. No, you a grown ass man now, bro.
With shit to lose, you know what I'm saying? And that's
including your own babies.
Right.
So all this, and I know because it's coming off as Kev, man. What you saying, Kev? You work with the police? No, by no means at all. First of all, I'm not a criminal, right? Like, I don't do shit illegal, that I would admit to on the internet.
Right.
But no, I'm saying, so now if I'm in a program, so I work in social services and education. There's been some programs where some policemen was involved. I didn't have no issue talking to the cops, right? Like, because I wasn't telling nobody, I wasn't telling on nobody.
Right.
And so if I'm working in a program and the police is involved, when I come on the scene, the brother say, man, you police. I say, no, I'm not, bro. But you know what? They over here. When you see me show up, it's hot. You right there over here. And they know what's going on. They know what I'm doing. So yeah, if you want to just not talk to me because of that, then do so. But understand what you do now is you putting a target on your back. Oh, he won't talk to him? That's what we need to go after. Oh, you can't get in touch with him, huh? No, they don't mess with me over there. All right, fellas, y'all know what we got to do. They ain't even willing to participate. So
what they got to hide. They gonna start scoping them and shit.
Right. I mean, we got too many old ass thugs, man. Like, I consider myself fairly thuggerific when I was young. Like, I had my little phase where I was, I thought I was hard and this kind of thing. But I grew up, right? Like, and I understand what a community is now. Like, you can't exist in a community and be something or some entity that's counterproductive in the community and then say, this is my community. I'm here with my people. But how much do you really love your people if you're doing something that's counterproductive in the community? Like, if you out here and you say, I'll shoot one of these niggas over this shit. Over what? You're counterproductive. So that's not a community. I do understand this though. We don't own a lot of shit, right? And poverty is what a lot of the places with these like impoverished neighborhoods, they don't own it. So they don't feel no sense of community. They don't feel like, well, this is our neighborhood. They be like, nah, man, this ain't my house. I move shit. We move about this motherfucker. I just got man, load that shit up. It'd be big screens all hanging all out the back of the Porsche truck you bought with your tax return.
Right.
I just low key took a shot at my own people. Ed was kind of racist of me. Shout out to Mildred Mia Weston. She said we need our people on the force. She said we need our people on the force, Dre Day indeed. Yeah, so how can this be drawn together so that an office of violence prevention can be effective? If we say nope, can't deal with law enforcement, which we know they got to deal with law enforcement, right? Because if you in that community and you out there talking to the people, you here to kind of be a mediator. When those police pull up, especially if it's a murder, they gonna pull you right to the side. Say, man, what's going on here? What is this all about? Do you know any even? You could say, nah, I don't know nobody, officer. I don't know. Then your ass finna get fired. You're not doing your job. We put you here to know what the fuck is going on. What do you mean? So it's that thing we got, man, with police and so once again, we say fuck the police, and I do not endorse over policing our community because we've seen what happens with that. We do understand how the justice system works in terms of convictions for black men being disproportionately higher than they are for white men for the same exact charges. We understand who makes up the majority of the prison population in the state of Wisconsin. See, all these things kind of make this thing it adds that much more attention to it, right? Like, so it's a lot of different scales. We're talking about the Department of Corrections, we're talking about the community, we're talking about law enforcement.
Right.
It's just all kinds of moving parts, and I don't know if this sister's being punished because they ain't all working together. I would like to see more black people on the police force, but I don't know if that necessarily would make a difference.
I don't know. I mean,
what do you think about that?
No, I think it's shit, man. I think it actually becomes I ain't gonna say a culture because I ain't saying all cops do that shit. But I mean, out of my negative experiences with cops, it was about 50-50 black and something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So again, more of us as cops, I don't know if that culture is going to change them anyway. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
So
very good point.
So it's like I've had a run in with black cops that were just fucking disrespect. Like they didn't even. I guess they so used to dealing with niggas that they approach every black person as if he's on some shit. So
right.
So like I said, just having more of us, I don't know if that'd be a benefit until the training and everything else change.
Well, yeah, thank you, Rail. Once again, man, that's exactly what we look at as black men, in that some of the most negative police interactions that I have had have been with black cops.
Right.
And simply because of their attitude on the scene. Like, and not for nothing, I wasn't like, yeah, fuck you, man. It's not, it's
right.
I'm like, damn, bro, you doing a little bit too much now. That ain't required. You know what I'm saying? So that's the issue too. You get a whole bunch of us in the force and get us on the force, and we thinking, oh, nah, it's cool. Hey, no, I'm a cop, bro. I am an officer of the goddamn law. Down on the hood you go. You know what I mean? Because it's
right.
This is
Boys
the way
in the hood tried to tell us though. You know what I'm saying? Boys in the hood, dude. Them the kind of experiences I've had with black cops.
Right. That's what I'm saying. A lot of us, so when we say we need our own in the police force, or can we police our own community, it's like, yeah, but then you start running into goddamn black super cops. Shout out to Mildred Mia Weston. She said, you are hitting some good points. We have to hold the police accountable whether we like them or not. We must help our community by being productive every day. Oh, yes. And that's the whole thing. And that's the whole thing is like, right now we're in a situation where we have to decide who's really with us and who's against us. Right? Because for a long time, we've loved anti-heroes. Our people's always been like, yeah, these fuck the police. That's why we identify with that. And it was because that whole thing was telling you it's regular people who the police are treating like criminals. Once again, 8-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, like Rail said, the psychological aspect of it. I've also said that I feel like police should be on a rotation. I feel like they should do 6 months, a year, maybe a year on the beat, and then have to do some behind the scenes administrative stuff somewhere, maybe work in the academy or something, then go back. It's like tours. Because to leave somebody on the bricks for 8-9 years, especially if you've just been a cop for the last 3 years and with all the homicides we've had, Just think about that. For the cop who say, man, how was work, baby? I don't want to talk about it.
Right.
Got a problem. What happened? It was a car accident. I went and the little baby was in the back seat. Like, so this person that should be rotated or given some sort of reprieve to say, well, no, you off, you ain't on the streets. Then you got some cops who say, no, this is what I do. No, that's where I want to be at.
Right. That's where my money is. You know,
Right, but I'm worried about that dude too. Cause you having a little bit too much fun,
right.
goddamn.
Man, I remember growing up and it was some that you knew by, well, you ain't know their name, you just knew their nickname. You know what I'm saying? And, here they come, man. Shit, last time they bust me down, they took my coat and my money. Like, damn, the cop did that? Yeah, man.
Man, look, man. You from the north side of Milwaukee, you remember, you grew up in the 80s, you remember Blondie and you remember Staples, right? Staples on the gang unit, slapped the shit out of him, and he was black. And Blondie was a white dude, but Staples was black. He'll slap the shit. I done seen him slap some hardcore dudes.
Shit, you damn near don't say their name like Candy Man and shit. You see, I ain't say no names. I said,
nah, man. Them dudes got to be dead or 100 years old by now. I'm on that ass now. Look, hey, I'm on that ass.
My nigga, if you bring that motherfucking name up, my nigga still start sweating. Man, that nigga took my pelly, man. Then I seen his son. Then he went to school with his son. Said, man, then I seen his son wearing it.
I'm trying to tell you, man. They said, I believe they turn out that way because they are around officers and they adapt to their environment. We have to change the environment to change narratives. You know what?
How do you change the environment though, fam? Like the definition of a like people that do the history and shit, like and know where ghettos came from, they were meant to bring about this. Like they started with animals, putting animals in destitute positions and piling them on top of each other, and notice how the rats started killing each other and eating each other. And then they moved it to the Jews, had them in ghettos, and now it's us. So how can you, like, I mean, it's a dope concept, but the very definition of a ghetto is that shit. Put these people in confined, restricted, destitute environment and watch them destroy each other.
Yeah, I don't. You know what? To Dre Day's comment in the chat room about they be around white officers. You know what? One time, I used to work. I was a program coordinator at MATC for a program called the Emerging Scholars, and what that simply is it's the program where MPS kids can go and get their diploma, right? And so I worked with basically kids who might only have enough credits to be sophomores, but they may be like 17, 18 years old. So the goal was to get them diplomas. And so there was a program with the police, and it's supposed to be black officers coming in to talk to the young brothers and sisters. I can't remember the name of the program. It went belly up. I'm gonna tell you why.
It wasn't there, nothing was it? Hang tough.
No, it wasn't there. It wasn't that long ago. That was when I was a kid. I forgot.
I remember them programs from school. Is it Dare, Hang Tough, all that shit.
Something I can't remember the name of it, man. I can't. It was a program that they had kind of kicked off. It had like some money, but I think this was connected, if I make no mistake, to the Obama joint. My brother's keeper.
Oh, okay.
Which people kept talking about, but it was always like, well, what when the shit gonna start? Like, what is it? So it was like, no, it ain't really no program, no money. We just gonna mentor. Like, okay, this makes no sense. Obama kind of slid us one on that one, y'all. Nobody really even talks about that either. Like, yeah, he walked off on that shit like, really able to get that done. But anyways, so this was all black officers who came in and talked to the kids.
Oh, okay.
And to me, what they were saying was just like, yeah, man, I've been on the streets and I grew up in Detroit and and I'm gonna tell you right now, if I see you out here, I'm like, yeah, these dudes is real gung ho. But the one who came on the most and was saying, like, you telling the young boys, you understand, I am a police officer, and if you're breaking the law in your community, it's my job to make you safe and all this. He was convicted of child molestation. Because when I was looking at him talk, first of all, his haircut threw me off.
Yeah.
This was like 2016, 2017.
Oh, okay. This is recent.
Yeah, this wasn't when I was little and shit. I'm a full grown man. I said I was working at MATC. He had the bowl cut, like was just cut the hair off right here and then just had a like the
Yeah.
like that
Did
don't
he have
sit
that
right.
mustache, that Carl Winslow mustache?
I can't remember exactly
Oh,
how his
okay.
facial hair was, but he had a very weird vibe to him.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like I said, a couple weeks later, comes out he's a child molester. Right. Like, and
That
so
shit
he's been
wild.
messing with an underage girl and had a baby by her for years and was hiding it from her family. And he was bragging about how he was getting ready to retire and all this,
Oh
and he had
man.
this great pension coming, and he's telling the kids, this is why, and you don't want to, you want to be like me, you should want to be like me. And I just was like, oh man, this all came out, and needless to say, the program fell apart. But I didn't detect
Right.
attitude from any of those officers that day that were able to express to those youngsters why they do what they do, and to anything to deter them from doing crime. It was more like posturing, like, nah, I'm a cop, I've been a cop for here, this, and I'm telling, I'm
Right.
training this, and I've saved, and I've done. It was like, all right, these dudes is action heroes. Okay, I see what it's saying. This is, they trying to get some Tyler Perry money behind this. So I said that all to say, I don't know that it's necessarily the influence of white officers, because the type of dude who wants to become a cop is a certain kind of dude, right? Like, so,
Yeah.
because as Joseph Mensah is it the white dude's fault in the Wauwatosa PD that he was just like mass murdering people of color? Like, they wasn't doing it, he was. So, who influenced who? Mildred Weston said, shout out to Mildred Weston too. She bought some Outlaw stuff from me when I had the apparel. I'm trying to get back on my feet with the apparel. Yeah, shout out to her. She's a supporter of the show. Some black cops forget that they are still black cops. They definitely need some type of rotation. But if you are out of shape, you need to be on desk duty, or third shift is for newbies, because I guess it's down, because it goes down in the PM. I don't know. Milwaukee in the AM, Milwaukee is, I find that's when a lot of the head busting get done in the AM. You know, especially on the weekend. People getting out of coming out of parties, been at barbecues, drinking all day, getting high all day, then partied and then got into it in the club, and now it's bang, bang, bang when they walk out. Like, so, but yeah, definitely. But I think that if I would get a police officer on here, and I've spoken with some police officers, and not because people say I knew Kev was a cop. I coach youth, right? I coach youth sports, and the fathers of some of the boys on the team was law enforcement. So the result was he and I having a conversation. Actually, shout out to my man, he my boy, he Pernell, he's a law enforcement, or he was. And me and him had some real life conversations about what it means to be a black cop. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he always said, Kev, I approach it with an attitude of, I know I'm black, but I also have a job to do. And I weigh it out like, what is my job versus what is my duty as a black man? So he says, so basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to show up. I'm not going to be real aggressive or whatever, but I'm going to be straightforward, and I'm going to let you know I'm serious, and I'm going to tell you what's happening. Now, if you start to get out of line, I'm going to give you several warnings. But eventually, if I got to do something, I got to do what I got to do. And so that's how you approach it. I said, well, okay, that's how it should be, right?
Right.
Because you can't be, because you know how we is. If you cool and you come through, oh, man, okay, oh, man, shit, man, see y'all later, man, y'all good. And you drive on, they laugh and say, man, if this motherfucker only knew we got all these guns up under us, we just went and shot up somebody's house with. Damn, I'm glad he cool. Get rid of that shit, right? Like, it's like, no, man. Oh man, y'all, yeah, I ain't gonna take y'all heroin. Honestly, who's dealing? Who's dealing? I won't take your heroin. Who's got it? No, I came to bust you. Like, you selling drugs in the community. But yeah, I don't know that you still black thing is a very deep one, man. We'll see what they do with this $11 million that's coming. We'll see what they do with it. Another thing I've been saying on this show is we've been talking about how fast things go right now. And I've heard several black people say, man, it just seemed like time is going faster than it's ever gone. Like, it's flying by, literally. And then I found out today that they did some measurements, and they found out that the earth is spinning faster now than it's ever spent. It's rotating faster than it ever has, which has resulted in a couple days that were less than 24 hours. This is in the People's News Network, right? And we're only talking about like seconds, right? So they're talking about they want to invent a leap second in 1 second increment. They want to implement this, but it's only supposed to really throw off GPS systems and astronomers because they depend on certain axes. People say, "Why are you talking about this, Kev?" Because all of a sudden now you talking about it spinning faster. Then they say it's a phenomenon where it's a wobble, a natural wobble, and that the Earth, this is not a perfect sphere. Now we had this debate about is the Earth flat or is it round? And I said, you know who wants you to think the Earth is round? And people say who? And I say people who make globes. And they would do anything in this world to make you believe. I'm not saying it's not, right? What I'm saying is you really don't know. All of a sudden you can tell me that the day is shorter. You telling me the Earth's rotation has sped up. That's what you're saying from a sign. And it's like, well, this has happened before. And like, oh, well, when was you gonna tell us? So for all you people out there who say, I know goddamn well that this ain't the listen, you understand right now, it's August 3rd. The sun don't it seem like the summer just started? We done flew through the 4th of July, everything.
That's because everything was shut down for 2 years, man. That was, it's trying to catch up. That's what the Earth doing. It's trying to catch up.
Oh my God! Please don't tell me that, right? Like, so if the Earth continues to speed up, and then we get to the point where it's only 8 hours in a day. So
I mean, I don't know. It happens, man. All throughout history, like even the North and South poles weren't always the North and South poles. Like Antarctica was where Africa was, and it was actually tropical and all that other shit. I mean, it still might be. We'll never know because they don't allow us down there.
Yeah, and you know what? I ain't gonna lie. For some people, it's probably a good thing that they ass don't get to see some of that shit. They be running around having all kinds of twisted, like But no, I don't. We think about space and time continuum, like time travel and all of this. And I've seen books and articles where they show an example of a photograph, and they show something in that photograph that just doesn't make sense for the time period that the photograph was taken. Have you ever seen this?
Yeah. No, I believe in it. I mean, shit. Yesterday is just another frequency. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why. Well, I get off in the quantum mechanics and quantum physics and shit like that, man. So, like even when people be saying I seen a ghost, it's like shit. You might have just seen somebody from 1960, but y'all somehow crossed paths, and you probably scared the fuck out of them too. They probably in the 60s hiding in the closet because they seen somebody with skinny jeans and hoochie daddy shorts. No man is supposed to dress like that. I think it was a demon.
And what's that other phenomena where there's certain things that have happened throughout history, and half of us swear they happen one way, and the other half swear they happen a different.
The Mandela effect.
The who?
The Mandela effect.
Yeah. Where you like some people say, well, no, dude is dead. I know for a fact I seen it on the news that this dude is dead, and the dude is sitting there like, I'm not dead. Like, no, I seen it on the news. Like, well, it was some with Obama. It's a whole bunch of things that they look at where a lot of people say no. It's like you thought a certain thing was spelled a certain way.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Usually I see it with names like Chick-fil-A. They like, what did you know Chick-fil-A didn't have a K or some shit like that?
Yeah, it'd be stuff like that. And you'd be like, no, it actually did at one point. And then you look back and they say, it never did. We've never had a K.
Like
right?
that Sinbad movie when he was a genie. People swear up and down.
That's the main one.
Shazam or whatever it was.
And he made a movie called Sinbad, right?
They got footage of it though. Like if you go on YouTube, you see it, but they said that it wasn't a movie. It was like I guess it was
or something. Part of his sitcom.
Yeah, type shit. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've looked into all this stuff, man, because I don't like I'm not a tinfoil hat dude, but I look into all this stuff because you don't never know what one day will be.
I rock mine happily, G. I rock mine happily because a lot of shit that used to be tinfoil shit, they coming up and Like, you know, the CIA had a debriefing that admitted that like remote viewing and astral projection is real.
Okay.
It just be before the science catch up with it. Like even
Before they're ready for you to know, before they can
type
explain
shit.
it to
Right.
you
Right.
without exposing themselves.
Right.
Mildred Weston said, "Why do some black criminals continue to look for passes when they are hurting our community? Jeffrey Norman is a cool dude. White cops don't like him because he doesn't hesitate to check everybody." You know, that racial kind of thing. That's a shame, but it would have to exist in the department. You know, just because I mean, that's that conversation about what doesn't race touch. It doesn't matter where you work, what you do, where you go. Race is going to play some kind of factor in it. It does not matter. You cannot avoid it in America. It's just part of what this country is. It's always culture clashes. It's always right, especially with black and white people, because we had this kind of crazy relationship. It's this love-hate relationship. We love them so much that we hate them, but we hate them so much that we love them. I don't know if that makes sense.
I can't love you
That's
because
what's
I
called
hate
circular
you.
circular psychology, right? And I just made that up, so don't go made that up. If you see it online, like my shit. Is that brother
I
cool?
mean, I think it's just human nature, man.
Okay.
Oh, I thought
Uh,
somebody said
no, it's just me and you.
but I thought somebody might have called in, but I think it's just human nature, man. Honestly, even if I mean, shit, even if for some kind of way everybody was just the same skin tone, we will find some. We will get the clashing based off of nose sizes or who right handed, who left handed. I mean, there's just always gonna be stupid motherfuckers that and it's honestly built into our I don't believe in evolution. So what can I say? I believe that it's learned behavior over the years, that xenophobia, because back in the day, when people communed amongst family, seeing somebody that looked different was either a potential enemy coming into your territory to take your shit, or somebody coming into your territory who could have foreign cooties that they bringing into your shit. So we were always it was always kind of like a learned behavior or evolution, whatever the fuck you want to call it, to be able to identify differences and things like that, so that we could judge, conduct ourselves accordingly.
I'm one of those people. I don't mind. You know, if you're a white nationalist, fine. You know, that's fine. I'm glad you love your people.
Right.
If I then that just I got the right to be a black nationalist. I love my people. It doesn't matter what you do as long as it doesn't infringe upon the rights of other people. When you
Right.
say you love being white, that's not an issue with me, because number one, you can't change it, so you better fall in love with the shit.
Right.
But secondly, it doesn't become an issue until you're so white and your love for white says, well, I deserve all of everything and you deserve nothing because you're not white. That's that false white supremacy shit. That's why I say there's really no white supremacists, because white supremacy, I'm sorry, there's really no such thing as white supremacy, because it's a flawed concept to start. My people deserve everything. We are superior to everyone. We should be able to do it. That's just the dumbest. That's broken logic in itself. So you have those who are white supremacists who say, no, we believe in this, we believe it, but they just chasing a ghost. It's just you chasing your tail. It ain't no such thing as white supremacy. I'm not saying people ain't out here trying to put it into play or they believe in it. I'm saying what they chasing ain't real. And there's no such thing as white people being supreme to anyone on no level, right? From biologically on out, right? It sounds like I just took a shot at white people. My bad.
But I mean, it also comes down to on a larger scale, it comes down to like nepotism. You know what I'm saying? They've played the game and lied, killed, and stole to get in a position. And now that they in that position, I mean, it's almost like if we came across two hungry motherfuckers, one of them was black, one of them was white. Even though a lot of people might say, "Oh, I wouldn't look at color to gauge who I feed," most times you're going to empathize with someone who looks more like you. So So I mean, right now, it was a lot of cutthroat ass shit for them to get to where they at in such small amount of time because they only been on this earth 6,000 years, only been in power for a few hundred years. So it took a lot of cutthroat shit for them to get to where they at. And then the people who look similar to those cutthroat motherfuckers get to ride off the privy of nepotism. No, probably no different than if we were in power again, like we were for hundreds of thousands of years.
Also, wanted to ask this question because we opened the show. It's Outlaw Radio Monkey Business on Hump Day Edition. Shout out to Kamar. Shout out to Courtney, wherever they may be. It's Monkey Business, and so we talked about the firing of the sister Anita Holman from the Office of Violence Prevention, and I'm kind of going backwards a little bit because I want to ask Real, do you feel like this move is kind of a demonstration of Cavalier or the mayor, whatever his name? I don't know what to call dude, Mayor Johnson. You know his name. I don't know. It's a Cavalier is a Chevrolet, and a Chevrolet is a Cavalier. So I don't know. So, but anyway, Mayor Johnson, is this a sign from him that if shit ain't going right, you out? I'm holding you accountable. Or is this him saying, I got to get my own people in there? Or
it definitely could be. Or I mean, sometimes when you try some shit and see it don't work, you can't be afraid to scrap it and be like, all right, let me see what the fuck else I could try. Especially when you have no idea how to resolve this problem. I mean, because this is a big ass problem that people are taking shots in the dark at. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I mean, that's just part of achieving shit. Is try something. Oh shit, that ain't work. All right, back to the old drawing board. All right, y'all fired. Let me try this person here. Until they figure some shit out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because you brought up nepotism, and we talk about Milwaukee being a city of silos, and it's like, if you're associated, like if you've been my people for a long time, once I get on, now you in this circle. So whose circle are you part of? Shout out to Armando Duckworth, who has been trying to do a lot of stuff in the community for the last few years. He's been on the show a couple times. I know last time I tried to bring him on before we transitioned to StreamYard, I couldn't get it. Zoom wouldn't work for him. So I've been trying to get him on. But he had, he's feeling a little frustrated the other day and put up a post about trying to work in the community. And he's like, unless I'm down with a certain group of people, nobody won't support me. Like, it's like, well, and then if you ask certain people to be there, they're not going to come if it doesn't benefit them directly. Like, what am I getting out of this? So I'm just frustrated with the whole thing, and I'm ready to just stop doing it, stop dealing in the community. I totally understood what his frustration was.
Yeah.
I totally understood it right away. And that's why I said, brother, it's a city of silos, right? And so that's why I said, on the other hand, is this Mayor Johnson saying, I got a partner who I'm gonna have that job for? I'd like to know what happened. If anybody knows what the firing was, if you out there listening and you got any news on this, why the sister was let go, is it a direct result of this is not working, or we're not on the same page, or I don't know what her office etiquette is? Does she walk around, on some other shit with people, or maybe somebody who she was cool with is now gone, and it's like, they gone now, so your ass going too. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So I'd like to know what the ins and outs of this was. Really, I would. So, and I'm pretty sure more news will come out about it. Like I said, call in, man. 262-202-5131, Outlaw Radio on a Wednesday night, Hump Day edition. Share the show. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Support. I seen also that I don't know what's going on with Beyonce's album. Is this album, kind of switching gears a little bit, and I will get back to the whole monkey business thing, because we got to talk about monkeypox too, because they ain't got enough vaccine for it. So here we go again.
Right.
But this Beyonce thing is kind of crazy to me, because it starts with Khalees and the sample, and then it goes into her using the word spaz.
Man,
so she go in and change her album. She says spaz.
I laughed so goddamn hard when I read the word ableist. We're tired of these ableists making us feel bad. I said, damn, I honestly, I ain't heard spaz since the 80s. I mean, unless somebody saying they spazzed out on the track, like they was, you know, that they spit
Yeah,
some hot shit. But otherwise, that was that, Dad, you're such a spaz. Like, you know, that was that shit that we didn't even use that word like that. In
I
the
didn't. I was unfamiliar with the group of people who are offended by the word spaz. I think they must
right.
get together, right? Like,
Like who get together and say these are the words we're gonna get ass hurt about? Like, I mean, how the fuck? Why do you want to sit around and be angry all day? Like, especially at words. You got enough problems if you feel like you are described by that word. You got enough shit to worry about, evidently. If you are a spaz, I mean, well, I don't even know what the fuck it is. But if you
it's a
associate,
condition. It's a
okay,
mental.
what
I
is
didn't
it?
even know it's like when you just spastic, you know, muscle like you
Like
lose
Tourette's or
control.
some shit?
I guess some similar
Spasms?
to that. There's a name for it. Like it's and I didn't, you know, it,
Epilepsy?
it's its own thing. The short spasmatic or it's like
Shit,
spasmatic,
everybody has spasms. Shit, I can't say spasm when I got muscle spasms and shit.
but you don't have you're not afflicted by this whatever it is. And I'm not saying the right name, and I should have written it down, but I
Oh,
did.
okay.
Like I just
Well,
wrote spasm and
I
shit.
remember people was mad about that movie. It's one of them Jordan Peele movies, so you know it's weird as fuck. It's
What's
the
up with
damn
Jordan Peele with the weird ass
the
movie?
the one I think he trying to be like M Night Shyamalan or whatever that motherfucker name. Shyamalan, Ding Dong. But
Shyamalan thing.
yeah, Shyamalan Ding Dong. Us. Remember? I don't know if you ever seen Us, but it was the clones and shit, and they had that Lupita chick talking with a raspy voice because her throat was supposedly injured. And people was mad at that movie back in the day. Like, no, this is a real problem. I deal with this every day, and my voice really sound like that. Like, you know, be like, God damn, it got to be a miserable ass life for people to sit around and find reasons to be unhappy and shit.
Well, I just think, you know, people just feel like I'm not going to let you I'm not going to let you if something's wrong with me, I'm not going to let you make me feel bad about it, right?
By
And
saying a
so
word.
right, well, it's derived from the word spastic, which refers to the medical condition known as spastic cerebral palsy. So it's cerebral palsy. I guess it's a condition of cerebral palsy. And so people say, now I didn't even know that.
See, I didn't know that shit. I thought, and then I thought cerebral palsy was caused by doctors fucking up or something. Like I didn't know. Like I thought it was caused by the birth doctor. So you know what? I don't really know a lot about that, and I definitely don't know a derogatory word to refer to them.
Well, I just think people just like you said, people just look for shit to be mad about a lot of times.
All
And
day.
I think once again, a lot of people just don't want to ever be uncomfortable, and that's impossible. It's impossible for you to live your whole life and never be uncomfortable. Like that's why I say a lot of people tell lies, and it creates all kinds of situations because you want somebody lying to you to make you feel good, but then when you figure out that they was lying about other shit, then you feel bad, like, oh well, you was lying to me. Well, yeah, but I didn't want to hurt your feelings. You know what I'm saying?
Shit,
So it's like,
nah. Give it to me straight. Tell me the
well, that's
truth, so
what
I
most
know how
people
to.
want, right? That's what most people want.
So I know how to treat you. You know, what I'm saying? Or you know,
Mildred said
I
nope is
like
off
that
the
shit.
chain. I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna tell you the truth. Every Jordan Peele movie I've seen was a little strange to me, right? And you know, I'm borderline. I'm borderline weirdo. Kind of, you know, I dig some shit that's off the beaten path a lot of times, but I don't know. I haven't seen Nope, but I've heard some people say it was good, dog, and I've heard some people say, man, that shit was
So
dumb as hell. I ain't know what the.
right, but the thing about his movies is a lot of times when people say it's dumb, I got to watch it for myself because I'll be like, okay, maybe they didn't grasp everything. Like with Jordan Peele movies, I legit real shit got to go back and watch a YouTube explanation video about the movie that I just watched. Like, oh, okay, that's why he had them gold scissors, and that's why they all wore red. You know what I'm saying? I got like even Get Out when it was like, okay, yeah, he killed a deer in the beginning, and then he killed the man with a deer. It's a symbolic representation. You be like,
I don't have time for all of that shit. I am so sorry. I don't have time for that. I don't look because I'm only gonna do this once. I'm gonna watch this once. You got to be a real classic movie for me to watch you twice, right? But
oh
I know it's
yeah,
decent black man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Shit, white filmmakers make weird shit that I don't understand all the time. I watch that shit too. I think it's great that a brother's in that position and he's employing black people, black actors, black
Mm-hmm.
writers. It's all good. That's what I cheer for him for. It don't even. She said, "Hello, it's science fiction." Right. Oh, once again, Mildred, we all like, we like things differently. I don't like real talking about going back on. I don't look, but I ain't gonna lie.
I'm a
If I
nerd,
watch
G.
a
I
movie,
love seeing Easter eggs and stuff that I missed. Like, damn,
right? No, but
okay.
that's what I'm saying. If I watched a movie before and I've been on YouTube and they said something explained, and I jumped on it like, oh, that's what that shit meant. Nah, I wasn't even know that, cuz
Yeah,
it'd be
right,
like, yeah,
right.
I get you on that. I guess that makes it, more digestible for people. Like it's more interactive if you really understand and it's a trilogy and it's a story behind it and people, she said it
Right,
was lots of
right.
white folks there. Oh yeah, I bet you it was lots of white folks there. Because they Jordan and Peele, I mean, come on, they like dude. He's not a real
They love
threatening
them.
nigga. He ain't Spike Lee, right?
And
And
then
they
he
like
mixed. I
well,
think
yeah,
both
well,
Key and Peele.
yeah, well, he's once again, he's not Spike. He's not trying to tell. He ain't trying to do what Spike was trying to do. He's trying to say, no, I'm a black filmmaker and we need to be respected because we can do it. And it's like, okay, you're right. Y'all
Right,
can.
right.
Hey, man, we got to get together, man. But I'm sure behind closed doors, he's making so much money. I imagine his corporation is strong, like his organization that he's put together to be
And
able
he and you know the dope thing about I'm sorry, did I cut you off, bro?
to. Nah.
Oh, okay. The dope thing about him though is he still takes a social and political stance, but he has finesse with it. You know what I'm saying? Like even the note they were saying how it's to show how black people are always allowed to basically be the prop or the reason motherfuckers watch TV, but we ain't allowed to control we not allowed out our box. Just like how Dr. Umar said, basically for a black man to be rich in America, he either got to have a mean jump shot or tell rap or tell some joke. Like they pigeonhole us into certain little boxes where they feel comfortable with us getting our bread. So he still tries to slide that consciousness in there, just in a way that you gotta know to know type shit.
She said they've tapped into an industry that white folks cannot do. Listen, even that, what was the science fiction, the black thing on HBO that it was good and they canceled it. I wasn't really with all the really heavy
Damn.
stuff. But it was set in the
Uh
50s. I
I
just watched it.
I never watched it, but I heard it was good. Lovecraft, Lovecraft
Yeah,
Country, some
Lovecraft
shit
Country.
like that.
Yeah, and it was based on a really, really racist horror-based book that was written in the 50s, I believe. And so that's why I think it was told from that era. But the very interesting part of this movie, there were some weird things, but when they go back to Black Wall Street, they have a whole episode about Black Wall Street because they have to go back in time. And they go back to from the time the riot starts to what happens. Because one of the black eyes in the thing is that they were ran out of Black Wall Street and they lost some family members and people. So they showed it. And I think that might have been the first on screen. I know it's a documentary and a movie now, but it was like one of the first time a lot of people said, man, I never even thought about what that shit would have been like. But
Yeah.
so black science fiction and like, yeah, no, I mean, black people we ain't in the box. It ain't
The-
all got to be hood movies and shit. It ain't all got
Right, right. But you see what happens. Just like you said, the media, whenever because that's what the media is for, programming, TV programming or giving messages out. So whenever we kind of strike a nerve and open people's eyes, it's short lived. Like you said, they opened people's eyes to Black Wall Street, but then I believe it was an episode when they actually had the Dahame warriors, which were the women of Africa, the women warriors. I think I think Viola about to have a movie
yeah, but
or
I'm on
some
the
shit.
fence with that one. Yeah, but that was a part of it though, y'all. That
But
was a
it's just opening people's eyes to real history instead of the fake shit. You know what I'm saying? And just like I used to watch American Gods and damn Dr. Lee from Drumline. I forgot the dude real name
I
that
know who
quick.
you call. You call him Dr. Lee.
But
I know you call
Dr.
him.
Lee, yeah, but he Orlando something.
Yeah, I know exactly who you
But he played this character called Mr. Nancy. And if you ever see the Mr. Nancy speech right before they cut that motherfucker off the TV show, you be like, oh, okay, yeah, he was talking too real. Matter of fact, it's probably on YouTube. I'll find it and send it to you.
I've heard about that, and I've heard about his removal from the show, and people felt like, but I mean, did he write the part? I don't know. I mean, I was talking about the Beyonce thing because she bowed to the pressure right away, and I think but they're critical of a lot of the stuff she's saying. Like they're saying she's saying,
everybody coming after
about
her.
sex plans and I'm like, wow, did this album just come out or is it even out yet? I don't know, but you got Khalees that took that song off now, I guess, and now they going in changing lyrics and
so the
so she might,
spaz, and then Monica Lewinsky coming out the woodworks.
With a bunch of they said she's dropping a album with a bunch of F words and all this, and I'm like, wow. I mean, but that's what you want when you say I want to be. And you know what, Real, what's funny is once again this happens on right after the other night when I was just saying I think Beyonce is talented, but I don't do all of the idol worship. Like people like, oh my God, like no, that's a human being, right? They got some talent and they were able to capitalize on it. Not in a hating way. I'm saying I don't look at you as like, no, you're.
I mean,
you are God.
Right, and me, I never really seen her like that. But what I do respect is her work ethic. Like to me, she's a testament of where you can get if you're willing to do the work and you got the right team behind you. Because no, she's not the best dancer, not the best singer, none of that shit. But she has a dope ass work ethic, and she's become almost like I don't know. No, I can't say Michael Jackson yet. But she's become like this pop icon. Like she's transcended even that box we were talking about. She's more so like a Black Madonna type shit now. You know what I'm saying?
Is she?
Yeah, she got, man. Please, the Bayhive, just like how the like the rainbow community used to ride for Madonna. They ride for Beyonce, and women ride for Beyonce hard. Like it was, yeah.
Okay, I hear you. I understand what you're saying in terms of Black Twitter and like talking
she
about
had people turn on Khalees about Khalees's own lyrics. Like she just trying to be relevant. It's like she's an artist. She could be sensitive about motherfuckers using her shit and not pulling her coattails. She's an artist. Right. That was her baby.
Right.
This wasn't some musician trying to get paid. This was an artist protecting. Right.
Her bread. You don't want no money? Okay, well, cool. We'll take it off. No problem.
Right. Take that off real quick.
And too, I think this has generated publicity for the album too, because there's no way you can tell me that somebody's out there really tripping about somebody using the word spaz, right? Like I
guess they are
unbelievable to me, to the point where you would have to, because even if they got a group, how many of them is it? To the point where you gonna take it off your album? Like I feel like that's just this is a cold kind of publicity thing. We go create the controversy to go with it, and then Beyonce will come out shining because she's gonna have a power ballad that she puts out right in the fall, and it'll be her big classic song. She overcame the early controversy. All that shit's generated, man, in boardrooms, man, with what they call them focus groups and all that shit. I'm not stupid, man. And as far as her, I don't transcending. To me, the only way you transcend as an entertainer is if you really do something for people that helps a lot of people and that changes a generation. Somebody like Harry Belafonte, I would say, transcended being an entertainer. Okay. Because he put 50, 60 hard years into being on the grind for Black people, trying to get movements, participating in movements, supporting movements. And so, because we don't even really know, the goddamn Telling Me Banana and the movie he was in with Dorothy Parrish. People don't remember him for that. Like, they be like, what? He's saying what? You know what I'm saying? So I don't say she's transcended anything. I think she is a celebrity.
As far as her start as like a little girl group, you know what I'm saying? Like now she's not just considered R&B or a little girl group. She actually is in like a class of her own. Right. Right. She's in like
Or
a
she has
class of her
crossover.
own.
She has mainstream appeal. She can cross. She
Right,
can cross
right,
over. I get it in
right,
that. Yeah. Well, she's leveled up as an entertainer, which
right,
actually is what you're supposed to do as an entertainer. And usually with
right.
every entertainer, there is that arc of I came from here and my star just rose till I got to this point and then I became this. But to me, there's a ceiling to that. Once you get to famous, for me, you just famous. It ain't never a point where
Yeah,
I say, "Oh, you're a goddess now." Oh, you're a legendary. Well, because I did.
right.
No, now if you take your money and build a school and kid people or create a program like Deion Sanders, for example. Deion Sanders started coaching his sons in high school, or he's just coaching them, period. And then all of a sudden he says, nah, the school is, he started his own school, got
Mm,
involved with a charter school, football program, blow up, helps a lot of kids.
that's
Goes
dope.
to Jackson State now, he's reinvigorating black college sports. And to the point where they said, well, man, we're a little short with our renovations to get our program facilities where we want them. He says how much it would cost. And I don't know if it was a joke or what, when the lady said, well, probably about a fourth of your salary. And he said, well, shit, take that fourth then. See, to me, now you're transcending just being a football player. Because we
Right,
get
right,
further away from the memory of you dancing a jig with the ball now. Like
right,
that's
right.
cool, but now it's kind of like, what's more important is what you see what he's doing at Jackson State, because that's
Now
the
he's a philanthropist, a
right.
dancing philanthropist.
He's transcendent, right? Like you know what I mean? So it's just I look at it on that level. I know a lot of
No,
people
I
don't.
feel you.
Mia said, let me see. She said her single "Break My Soul" is one for us. No matter what happens to us, we cannot let anyone break us. Spaz might have something to do with the community. Like President made that comment about Special Olympics and bowling. A low score. He low score said something about Special Olympics. He apologized immediately for that. Right. Well, people,
People gotta stop being so sensitive,
but to
man.
have a mouth is to say something stupid sooner or later. I don't know nobody who's never said something stupid, right? Like it's like, why I say that shit? Like it's not.
we
No,
just ain't got the cameras around 24/7.
let's see, but even Trump, remember Trump made fun of the handicapped dude in the audience. He's like, and I see, that was like, oh, that was cold blooded. Trump ain't care. He's shit, man, please. He said something about Mexicans and he's building the wall. Then the next morning eating a taco salad. Talking about boo, right?
he was hilarious, man.
He was the president, man. Like,
He was
oh my
hilarious. He was just an old ass
man,
rich frat boy. Like he had the rich frat boy mentality in like an 80-year-old man head.
man, he
So
had a rich white boy mentality. I'm
right,
just,
right.
I'll be glad. See, and I watched Whitney Houston. I watched Whitney Houston go through this whole thing. Like where they made her into this pop star and she was like you say, on that on that upper echelon where she had the crossover appeal and all this kind of stuff, and she was a pop star.
Mm-hmm.
And you come to find out that her life was fucking screwball. Right? Like, and so when she comes down off of this and says, no, I don't even want that because it comes with too much. And she does just the R&B. She sells less records, but I mean, to me, that was her best music. Like, people would argue with me. I know Whitney Houston was great in the 80s, but I like the one she put out in the 90s with Heartbreak Hotel and all.
Bodyguard and shit.
Yeah. Your love is my love. See, that stuff was for
Yeah.
but white people like, that's not a pop hit, though, Whitney. That's not. By this time, though, crack is whack and all that stuff. So, but I'm just saying the pressures of being up there, right? And I don't know if she's insulated because Jay-Z is so paid and so entrenched with corporate America, but obviously she doesn't. She to me, she hasn't transcended anything, unless, like I said, and I was gonna say she hasn't because they still fucking with her, but unless, as I said, this is some well thought out PR, which it possibly could be.
It
Or
definitely could be.
Trying to say, I'm gonna donate money to their foundation. You see what I'm saying? Which makes her, once again, makes her a hero. Somebody may have put her up on this. This might be the latest marketing thing for artists to do. Say, no, I found this agency with people who got this disease where they can't stop popping they face or something, or whatever. And you say, oh, for real? You say something in your song about that, they come out against you, you donate money to them. now you are looked at as even bigger than you were. You care about the people,
See,
right?
I don't know, cause don't somebody else write it? I mean, did she write it? I mean,
I don't know. I think she does have writers. I know the dream, and all these people. That was another controversy where I guess she got a song with a bunch of samples and writers, and it said 24 writers on the same song. And some white lady was on Twitter like, why she got 24 writers? And he like, well, you don't understand sampling and all this kind of shit. It's crazy. You right, Mildred. Get behind closed doors. Whitney was just super hood, like, and that's what people always they always blame Bobby Brown for the shit. And I'm not saying Bobby Brown wasn't no wild dude, but even Bobby said I wasn't even doing cocaine when I met Whitney. I couldn't afford that shit. Whitney, she put me up on it, right? Like, so, yeah, man. I don't. I hope Beyonce won't fall to the same thing. I think, Real, what you did talk about was impressive though. Is her rise from this little girl who been working at this forever and managed to really just blow up all the way, like boom, biggest thing in the game. That's a hell of a story to me too. I
right.
understand.
There's probably some people who know Beyonce but don't even know Destiny's Child. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
or the two chicks from Destiny's Child that fell off before they like took off type shit.
Yeah,
So
well, it was like 5 of them at one point, then it was like 3, and then it was like, whoa, what happened? All you know is
right,
it, and then it was just none. Like, nah, I'm good, y'all. So
right.
yeah, but I just feel like sometimes people just put her up like nobody can sit that high. That perch is too lofty. It
It-
ain't enough air up there. You're gonna fall. You don't got nowhere to go but down.
right, right.
So it's just I don't know. That's my way I see it. I don't know. Y'all can call in monkey business. That's why it's monkey business because monkeys never know shit. Um, Byron Allen bought the all black news channel, and we talked about this the other night.
hmm
Um, um, you know, he bought the all black news channel. He's renamed it now the Griot. And I've always put a lot of articles in the People's News Network from the Griot because it's been black news, and kind of we talk about the movement for premium black news, like only talking about the news that black people care about, and then sprinkling in some things that they should care about, right? And so black people will be more informed is the long term goal for that. Shad Khan, who was an Arab entrepreneur who owns the Jacksonville Jaguars, had tried to do the all black news network. And I don't know if you ever went and watched it, but it was kind of crazy because they didn't have all the commercials. So sometimes when they get done telling the story, it'd be like break, and it just sit there with like a picture or something up like commercial break, like, but it ain't no commercial playing, right?
Nah.
So it wasn't no myth while they closed and people say I didn't even get paid for my last week, right? Yeah, he just shut it down like this shit ain't working.
right,
But
right.
Byron Allen is a television kind of dude. Like he's a mogul. So he has a production company, he owns cable channels, he owns the Weather Channel. So this is probably gonna be a good thing. We finally may really get to have our own kind of black CNN, you know what I'm saying? Like our
I
own,
mean,
you
as
know.
long as it's not just because I mean, shit. I mean, who fuck with the news? I mean, now the news is just more propaganda. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a couple news stories sprinkled in, and then the rest of it is the fear mongering from their sponsors. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want this to just be a channel talking about COVID and monkeypox nonstop, but just in blackface. Let's talk
Right.
about some real shit.
And I was thinking in that regard, like we talk about money and financial literacy. So I don't need a black person who can just come and tell me what's going on in the stock market. I need some situations where there's actually shows on there that introduce people in how to invest, what certain things mean, and what would be good investment opportunities for us, right? Like, so knowing your income threshold, or how do you figure out what's the startup? What should I look for, and where to put my money, and what
Right.
it should be pointed in that direction. If we're gonna say black, then let's be black. Pointed at black people. Don't try to make it beige. Keep it black.
That would be dope because I mean I watch those kind of people already. So like Earn Your Leisure or 19 Keys or the what's his name? The it's like the something gangster. I think the stock gangster, something like that. But a black dude that teach you stocks and shit like that. So I be watching all of them cats. So if they did make it a way to have them have segments on that network, it would be dope because they out there. You know, they
Yeah,
and
and
they can use a platform.
don't force feed it either. Have some cultural things in there. Have some shows where, because CNN and all those, they didn't just have regular news all the. Sometimes you had Larry King, or you had some of them dudes who you can go sit down with, and he you get an interview, and they have black politicians, or they could have black politicians on, and create some transparency. We're gonna have the congressman on from so and so tonight, and we'll see if it works. Right, we'll see if it catches on. I know what I'm gonna make a point of doing. The thing is, I cut the cord a long time ago. I just stream. Just Time Warner
Right,
Cable and
right.
Spectrum. This is a cold game. They was just doing too much down there. I just told them, look, I ain't paying the $5, dog. I can't do it. Like we had went up to the point where it was like $200 some a month, man. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay that for cable. So I got to figure out how I'll be able to stream it and really be able to take a look at it. Mildred said Black News will better us financially, credit building, real estate, education, plus what white people are trying to do to people of color. It would inform us for the culture and the people. Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping the griot brings to it, because the griot is kind of that. And that's why I say because when I first started the group, the People's News Network, I would be looking for news a lot, right? And so I'd be looking for what's reputable. And there's the griot, and then there's a couple more that I know they're good. Like I can, if they put up a post, the research has been done, it's good journalism. According to what I know, because I don't want Rick Muhammad to be on here like, yeah, you believe with them white people. They ain't nothing. They ain't nothing. That's the what do you call it? The deep state. That's the deep state controlling you niggas. And it might be. I don't know. But what is it? Push Black. I get texts, I get messages from them. So you're right.
Yeah, I follow them.
There's a couple. I'm hoping that they bring that kind of structure to it, because the one thing I can tell you about Black people is we don't mind being serious, but you got to give us a break. Like let people go outside and smoke or something. Go have a drink. Or Black people got to rest. You can't just boom, 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 boom. All you got to be like, oh shit, they interviewing. Oh him. Okay, he finna sit down with him. Okay, it ain't got to be comedy, fall on the floor. It could be like Serious the Actor Studio. We're gonna have Sam L. Jackson on tonight. You can find the right dude to interview him. Tell us, Sam. Tell us about your days as a college student when you took Martin Luther King's father hostage at Jackson State. And let Sam tell that story, because I believe that need to be a movie. How Sam them did that shit.
They can have Morgan Freeman do it. Be the host.
Right.
He got that voice.
Yeah, let Morgan Freeman interview it, man. Two of the oldest dudes in the world interviewing each other. But yeah, I'm hoping Byron Allen brings that to it, man. Let me see what else we got. What else? I don't know why Will Smith keeps he came out again and tried to apologize to Chris Rock.
Chris
Bro,
don't want that shit. Like he like,
right.
man, keep that shit.
What do you expect somebody to say when you slap the shit out of them on national television? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you expect someone? Hey, man, I just want to say I'm sorry. Oh, it's all good, bro. You want to do a movie? Hell yeah, let's do a movie. Unless there's like a $25-30 million price tag behind that movie, I'm because I say, Will, for real, if you give me 25 million, I do a movie with you. But I'm gonna get my chance to do something to you during that movie. You have to understand. You gotta understand you're gonna be hit with something. Anything they put in my hand for any scene is the first take is gonna be, oh my bad. I ain't mean to do that, Will. It's
wow.
like, yeah, right, motherfucker.
But the Jamie Foxx and LL Cool J shit.
Right, that's right. They don't see, right. Like so. But no, what do you think about this? Because I feel like, and then of course they trying to blame Jada, saying she's pressuring Will to do this because the Red Table Talk ratings are suffering because people are looking down on them, looking at them in a negative light. What you think about his continuous? I want to talk to Chris. I'm open when you hear. I'm ready to talk. Like,
see, I mean, I feel that Chris got every right to say, man, keep that shit, dog. You know what I'm saying? You don't want, nigga, you slap me. This ain't no publicity stunt. This ain't, oh, let's have a sit down and discuss our past traumas and how this came to be. No. Like the only way I could be cool with you slapping me, dog, is if you give me my 2 minutes and 25 million. Give me 25 million in my 2 minutes. and we might be able to be on speaking terms after this shit.
Yeah, I feel like now Chris Rock is starting to become more vocal about it now. He's doing jokes about it, and he call him what do you call him, Suge Smith, and he's
Shucks, man.
right.
I
He's
seen
making
him get that goat that they gifted
yeah.
him that goat. Called it
Mhm.
Will Smith.
Yeah, and because the comedy community has gotten behind him, right? And said, no, Chris, that was absolutely because I said when this happened, the overall attack here wasn't just on Chris Rock, it was on free speech and
Right,
the ability for a comedian to be able to get up there and do what they do. Like that was like it was a bigger picture thing. And
right,
so
right.
yeah, so I feel like then and a lot of comedians, and that's why you hear them when the dude tried to tackle Dave Chappelle and they say he got the mollywops put on him
They
because
whooped
people
his ass.
right like
But
nah,
just like how people say how I think I heard y'all say the other day, y'all was happy Trump was out of office just because it gave white people a certain air about them. Like so to me, this was the green light for anybody who ass hurt about a motherfucker saying something about him to hop on stage and try to do some shit. So I don't think without Will slapping Chris, I don't think that dumb motherfucker would have tried to tackle Dave Chappelle.
yeah, well, yeah, there we go. But actually, prior to this, there was an incident with this comedian, and it went viral online where he was on stage and he got into it with somebody in the crowd and they came after him. I heard
And he
Ricky
whooped
Smiley.
their ass.
No, the dude was just trying to attack him. They had to come get him. Like the security eventually had to. He was going
Mm,
at him, man. He was trying to get at him. He had like a chair or something, or he was swinging a mic at him or something, like the mic
mm.
stand. That's how he was holding him off. And so, but I heard Ricky Smiley say, he got into it with some dope boys in the crowd one time, and they you know, they was gonna kill him. They threatened to kill him. So this has always been a thing, but on this was done in front of a lot of cameras. I don't want to Negro-fy it like some people say. They did this at the Oscars in front of all them white folks because it ain't. It's just the fact that
Set
it was
us back 100 years.
right. That set us back, right? Like, all, all the shit that them ain't gonna that set us over, man. It was all good till dude slapped Chris Rock. Like, no, man, stop it.
Right.
Mike Kimmich, shout out to Mike Kimmich. What up, Big Mike? He said Will has Bad Boys 4 on deck. He had to repair that shit. Yeah, okay, I get that too, but leave it alone. You thugged up, you slapped a man, and like this is like in the street, man. And I don't know if any of y'all have ever been on the block, right? But if you get into it with somebody sometimes and y'all at an event or something, you boom, you done took off on it. Boom, people like, oh damn, dog, why you do that, man? Because they say, man, dude ain't no threat to you. He ain't want no drama. Like, yeah. In some cases, you gotta say, yeah, okay, I probably shouldn't have did it, but I did it and just keep it pushing. Like, you know what I mean? Like you just gotta say, man, yeah, I said shit. I know I shouldn't have did that shit. Till one day that person is ready to come up to you and say, man, this is what happened, man. This is how I feel about it. But to keep, I don't think Will should keep apologizing. I think Will should be like, look, man, I got to deal with this shit. I was going through some shit. I spazzed. I can't say spaz, right?
Right.
Can't say spaz. But I feel like Will should just keep it pushing. Just you on your gangster shit now. You know what I'm saying? And when somebody say something slick to you, be like, motherfucker, you talking to? You must not seen what the fuck happened to Chris Rock. Live in it. Just eat it up now, because you can't. It'll never go away.
Right,
It'll
right.
never
You
go away.
can't go back to Will Smith that don't cuss in your records.
Nah,
Yeah, you don't cuss in your records, but you slap motherfuckers because
totally
your
debunked.
feelings hurt.
So walk in your new truth. And if I was Will, I'd be on TV saying, yeah, and all you motherfuckers who keep talking about what y'all have done, if I'd have slapped you and all this, say something when I'm around you, say some slick shit. Like if I was him, I'd play it up like that, and then I'd get there with like 30 bodyguards. I
30
wouldn't do shit.
bodyguards.
Right. I ain't gonna do shit to you, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because people be talking that was me and that was me and da. Like, right. I done seen some dudes get slapped like that before on the block, and it was like, oh shit. Like it ain't a good thing, man. And you got to be real about your shit to really another grown man, you walk up to him, you don't punch him, you don't grab him, you draw back and slap the shit out of him. You know, that's like a super common threat that black dudes say to each other all the time, but they never actually follow through with it or nor have any intentions on doing so. They're like, man, I'll slap the shit out of you, dog. Don't make me slap the shit out of you. Like we say that playing around with each other, but ain't nobody. If somebody really ever did it, it'd be like, dude, you know, we got to tear this whole house down now, right? Like,
I mean, shit, people. I mean, I think who was that? Charlie Murphy was like, man, shit, somebody got to die behind that. You know, back in the day, a motherfucker slap you with his glove, y'all was dueling.
I challenge you to a duel.
And his son died. You know, somebody
Yeah.
had to die or at least get shot at after that. You know,
Man,
they had them muskets. They wasn't really hitting each other. Well, no, because they was close enough.
you
But
know that shows the genius of that whole skit too, because this happens years before Chris Rock and Will Smith. But when he walks up to him initially, he's like, "Oh, Charlie Murphy's like, oh, what's up, Rick?" And he said, "What did five fingers say to the face? Slap!"
right,
And that's just exactly how it almost happened. Like Chris was like, "Oh, Will finna come up here and clown me." Nah, he slapped the shit out of you.
right,
And look, sooner or later they gonna give Will his props for how he did it. After he slapped him when he turned and he kind of adjusted his coat like this, and then walked off. Now when he got to the seat, that's when the psychosis part of me said, the part that I'm looking at saying, "Oh, Will ain't right." In the head, he ain't right now. He ain't right because he's like, "Keep my wife's name out your fucking." I was like, "Oh shit, Will." Like, damn, this is like everybody was just kind of quiet, like, "Oh shit."
right. The dude that took the joke too serious. Like everybody done been in that incident where motherfuckers playing around and then the one part like, ah shit, this motherfucker done took the joke too serious. Now
He done slapped the shit out this boy. Now this dude crying, going to get in his. "I'll be back, nigga. I'll be back. I'll be back, motherfucker."
right.
So nah. That's why I said this too when this happened, and y'all watch because I'm turning into Black Nostradamus on here. I said the way Will recovers from this is to embrace it. His next major role, which will get him his next Oscar, will be as a bad guy. One of the most ruthless villains we've seen played in a movie in a long time, and he's gonna be able to play it perfectly. And people
He
gonna
gonna
say
be in Training Day Part 2.
something like that, something like that, and people gonna say this is a new Will Smith, like this is a whole different, and he'll get several roles after that, right? And one day people say, man, he went from being the good guy, the golden boy, to man, who's the best villain in cinema right now? It's Will Smith.
White people do it all the time, man.
Yes, they do.
Robert Downey Jr. You know what I'm saying? Colin Farrell. Like they had like shit. Who else? Damn. Plenty
Rob
of them.
Lowe.
They get right. They get caught with drugs, hookers, all kind of shit. And then like shit, Tony Stark was one of my favorite Marvel. They killed Tony. I stopped watching the movies. Like fuck
Right.
Marvel.
Yeah, I've read the comic books for years. I'm still like, how y'all gonna fix that though? Y'all just gonna leave that like that? You can't leave
Right.
Iron Man dead. Like
Suave ass Tony Stark. Here's the closest thing to shit. I mean, I know they had black folks on there,
now
but
you done brought everybody back who died from the snap, but you gonna leave Tony dead. Like man,
right.
the Hulk been talking intelligently ever since. It ain't been right, man. What else we got, man? Man, shout out to y'all, man. Let me know if y'all want to call in. What up, Crystal Ship in the building? Control C, yes, ma'am. Shout out to Crystal Ship and Control C. We always support black businesses. Mildred said, she said, I see no lies. I see no lies, right? Yeah, how you gonna kill Tony, man? And people don't remember now when Robert Downey Jr. looked like it was looking like he was gonna end up the next overdose celebrity found dead somewhere. Because he
Charlie
was
Sheen. That was the other cat I was thinking about. Charlie Sheen. My
yeah,
bad.
well, Charlie Sheen's ruined. But I'm talking about Robert Downey Jr. like in the 90s when he had this whole thing with his heroin where he went to jail. He had to
Yeah.
actually go serve time. People don't recall what that was like. They don't remember. They've forgotten about it because now he's Robert Downey Jr. and he's, so he flipped the narrative. So I'm saying if I'm Will, I'm doing that. The good guy shit for you is over, Will. It's over now. You know what I'm
No
saying?
more getting jiggy with it.
Well, no, I mean, it's okay for you to go ahead and make a gangster rap album now at 50. So yeah, I had you
50.
motherfuckers fooled all along. Yeah. And you say, "Oh, Will, you got us. You such a good actor." Right? Like, so
Man.
don't fight it, man. I say, Will, go to the dark side, Will. Go to the dark side. That might be his angle. Put him in Star Wars as an
Right.
evil Sith Lord or something, right? And especially white people will forget all about the shit. Like, he slapped who? Or did you see him as a Sith Lord? He's absolutely phenomenal.
I seen the dude who
That was
played
the best
Gus
white
off
voice I
of
done done in
Breaking
a long
Bad.
time.
He in the Star Wars universe. Damn, what's his name? He black dude with a Spanish name, so he probably really Spanish. The dude who played Gus off of Breaking Bad, he played man, he played so many things.
You talking about I know he one of my favorite actors because he been in
Yeah,
everything all
he
the
a
way
bad
back.
motherfucker.
Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah,
I seen him in the Star Wars universe.
yeah. He was
He
in Boba Fett.
yeah.
Yeah, he
And
was in
he
Boba
was
Fett.
a bad motherfucker.
Man, that dude is a hellified actor, man. That dude
He
been
is,
in.
man. He is.
I mean, he was in one of my favorite movies of all time, King of New York, and that was in 1990. So dude has been in, like, he's been in movies. He one of them black people like Clifton Powell, where you just be like, this motherfucker been in every movie I've ever seen. I forgot he was
Yeah,
in this
I
shit.
seen him in he was in Trading Places. Remember in jail? He was one of the motherfuckers Eddie
He
Murphy was
sure was with
telling
Eddie. He sure was. A lot of people don't know that. He sure was. He was just in
because
the
I'm a karate
background.
man. Yeah.
Right. Oh my God, man. Yeah, that dude is a hell of an actor, man. But he's cold. I wasn't really into Breaking Bad. I watched Better Call Saul. So, and he's on there. It's showing his.
Okay.
The only part of him in Breaking Bad I seen was the end of him in that show when he went in the hospital and
Okay.
realized he
Yeah.
got duped. But I'm watching
Yeah.
now, and it's the last season. But I've been watching it. But dude is a good actor. Yeah. He's in the Star Wars joints. He was in the Star Wars joints. Let me see what we got. I wanted to talk about Deshaun Watson, but I won't. Simply because I just feel like it's just, once again we get into this conversation about he did this. There's accusations, there was some behavior, but apparently none of us enough to have him do any kind of legal time. Like, there's no real criminal case here. Civil is what it's all about. He's been sued by 26 women, all this kind of stuff. The judgment that was given to him was that he is going to be suspended for 6 games this year. People are upset. That's not enough. First of all, I don't understand. He didn't play last year because of this, right? And so now people are upset because it's 6 games enough. And the NFL is being forced. Well, you got to appeal that because that's all they can do. And the thing is now, if they appeal it, they're saying, well, now he can then sue the league, right? So that's a whole kind of different thing about I mean, we because we talked about this the other night when we was discussing this Playboy thing, and we were saying with Bill Cosby in the 70s, and you look at certain places and certain times, you don't want to say somebody deserves something to happen to them, and you knew what you was getting into and all kind of foolishness. Yeah, we don't want to beat them cats, right? Like, and it can get like that. It can get like that, right? Like, yeah, your ass knew what was up. Oh man, come on, man, don't do that.
Man, they come out the woodworks quick with that victim blaming, man. I got hit with a misogyny the other day, man. Like, you know, and I ain't trying to down the women, but there's some women out here, man, that like you remember Martin on Boomerang, how everything was racist and shit.
Martin, which one was
On
yeah,
Boomerang,
you said Boomerang. I'm thinking
yeah, on
Boondock.
Boomerang.
Yeah,
Oh no,
okay.
on Boomerang when he like you see the white ball
Yeah,
knock in all the
racial. Yeah, racial.
right. It's some people who are like that about misogyny. So like this one girl posted like LeBron James make more than the whole WNBA, and she was like it's because of misogyny and women getting paid less. And I'm like, shit, I'm sure LeBron probably bring more revenue in than the whole WNBA too. But of course, I got called a misogynor or whatever they call him. You
Misogynist?
know, the
Misogynist?
misogynor, I think she called me.
I've
But
never
she,
heard of
but
that one.
But then they're like, yeah, you and I was like, she was like, no, it's just misogyny and people, women getting paid less than men again. And I said, well, shit, I guess we could have that argument if she was as in demand. If any woman in the WNBA was in as much demand as LeBron, then I could say the glass ceiling and all that shit. But I don't even know women I know more women who watch the NBA than I know women that watch the WNBA. So, I think it comes down to demand. But like I said, people throw these words around and love to be offended. So you can't talk about this shit like that and sound like you victim blaming without one of these people hollering misogyny.
There's a lot going on. You said the WNBA. The WNBA is a lot going on right now because there is that discussion of what the WNBA players make versus what the NBA players make. Now, does it make you a misogynist or does it make you a what do they call them? You don't. Does it make you hate women because you don't watch the WNBA? You're a male chauvinist? No, because the fact of the matter is this, and I've said this many times, and people have been like, yeah. I'm like, a lot of times you don't watch the women's basketball because the plays always end the same way. It's either a jump or a layup. It's one of them two. With the male joint, it's the alley oop, it's the dunk from the side. It's different kinds of dunks. It's the power, the blocks, the real hard dribbling with the dudes with a Steph Curry who can shoot from half court. That's not to say there are not some women who can shoot a basketball who can absolutely hoop their ass off. I do understand that. And it's a great thing. But it does not generate as much money as the National Basketball Association does. Therefore, the players make less. It's not like they make $50, $50,000. A lot of them make $100,000 a year too. That's pretty good to play a sport.
It is more than what I make.
Sell apparel like the NBA does. They don't sell merchandising like the NBA does. So that's why they make less. I don't think it has anything to do with women aren't equal to men. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I didn't think so, but of course, man. But that's just one of them things that's always gonna be around, man. Somebody always gonna be hurt about something. You know what I'm saying? It's a comedian, Bill Burr, funny ass white dude, man. Bill Burr, but he was like, man, we didn't fail the WNBA. The feminists failed the WNBA. He said the feminists should have made it a point to fill those arenas, stuff like that. He's like, man, we never watched it. No, we didn't want to watch it. But that don't mean that they couldn't go out and support. And he said every feminist in the city should have been in every Coliseum filling up with their shirts off and on the Jumbotron. But
well, I mean, is there truth to that? Because I mean, a lot of women they would say, I don't like sports. Okay, but I get what he's saying. Mildred said no personal choices. The WNBA be hooping without the theatrics, straight balling. Look, once again, you ain't gonna get me talking about the heart and the effort and the passion that them sisters play with. Mm-hmm. I know for a fact I don't watch female, women's basketball. I know they go hard. I know they do. I've watched it. I've seen, because sometimes the TV, I can't find a remote. So I'm watching the game, right? That was bad for me to say I'm only watching. Damn. I try to do like real and come back and say something good. Like, but they queens though. No. No, I know they play hard. They do play hard. To me, right. Okay, so if you take the great WNBA teams, right, and say, or just start with players. Look, okay. Michael Jordan, for example. Think about watching Michael Jordan play basketball, right? Like, this dude was just to watch him. You be sitting there like, this is ridiculous. Like, I've never seen anything like this before in my life. I can't think of a women's basketball player who's had that effect. There's some who say, man, she's scoring. She 25, 30 a night, got a shot, got a jumper, is really smooth. There's a lot of them, but you didn't watch them with the same kind of damn as a Dominique Wilkins, a LeBron James. Like, now, I don't think Cause see, okay, so I'll use another women's sport to kind of show you what I mean. Track and
Okay.
field, for example.
Yeah,
Women's track and field is a very exciting, is very interesting to watch those events, right?
it is.
Because those sisters can run. You be watching that sometimes like, whoa, she is super fast. Unless she's Sha'Carri Richardson with a 30-pound weave hanging off her neck and whatever. Okay, sorry. Weave. Weaves. But I'm just saying, so they don't have a problem. They don't have those women get paid. I don't know what they make in comparison to their male counterparts, but it's a very big thing. They get all the respect in the world when she's the fastest woman in the world. She wears that crown.
But
So I guess my point
they
is,
get paid through oh my bad.
you talking about the track and field sisters?
Yeah, I was gonna say track and field people get endorsements, right? So I mean,
They
out
get
of
endorsements, but they get paid pots when they go because they have it's pro track and field. It's professional. And they have
okay.
events all over the world. So you go and win those. It's like you going to a tournament. You gonna win.
Oh, okay,
You know,
I see.
I won the gold today. You gonna make money, and then you gonna have endorsements, like you said. So I guess I'm saying all that to say, women's basketball just doesn't have that kind of appeal. If you love fundamental basketball, the fundamentals of it, you love to see people like skilled players who can shoot and do all the traditional things. Yeah, you could watch that, but it ain't bringing in no new fans. Well, like I see people right now who seen what's the young boy who played this year, what's Ja Morant? Ja Morant probably brought about 3,000 new fans every time he played once his highlights was on Sports Center. He brought new
Okay.
fans, more apparel sold. He got more endorsements,
Right.
more products, was more money was made because people looked at him and said, "Wow, this dude is ridiculous." If somebody can name a women's basketball player who has that effect, let me know. Just let me know.
I
Mildred said
don't
she gonna
know.
slap me. She said I'm a Will Smith you.
Oh, shit.
Crystal Shiv said don't do Shikari because I was talking about her wig, that big ass wig on, that big old hair hat. No, your ass wasn't gonna win no race with that big ass wig on. I'm surprised you didn't pass out trying to run in that heavy. Blue and shit all over the track. That's bad for me to do that. No.
Yeah, she had it rough, man. But you know what? It's like she had it rough, and then when you start to like kind of empathize and feel bad for her, she start just can I say japping out? Is that
You know, you can say it on Outlaw Radio, but I wouldn't say it nowhere else, right? Like, 'cause that's some shit that will get you really, really took, right?
he's talking about
Did he
kamikazes.
say
Like,
jab? He
I
said
don't
jab.
know. But
God, what
she
kind of show is this?
right, she got the snapping, I guess I'd say,
Right, right.
about any and everything. I understand, you know, she had lost her mama. She had to deal with the not being able to run when other motherfuckers was able to compete. So I can
Because
understand the
she got
things
caught
that.
smoking weed. That's why she couldn't run. She
But
failed the
then
drug test
they let the other girl compete. Remember?
off the
Uh,
steroid. There
no,
was like, I
I
know
think it was some weed or something. What or was it performing
it was PEDs. I thought I don't think it
I
was weed.
think CBD or something. I can't remember, but it was somebody in the Winter Olympics that. So I understand her feeling vexed, but you know she kind of snapped and then kind of lost our sympathy and empathy.
Well, you know, I think she worried about the wrong shit. She need to be on her grind right now, working her craft instead of trying to be, I don't know, hood fabulous. I don't know. I don't know this girl. I'm talking about this young sister. I don't want to beat her up because she had on a big ass blue wig or blonde wig.
Damn.
Or, I
Yeah,
seen that. I
she
seen this thing with the brat, which is very interesting to me.
the brat.
Um, the brat, you know, the brat has a TV show. Remember the brat? I don't know. You ain't from my generation, but the
No,
brat.
I know the brat. It's just shit.
Okay.
Last thing I seen, she got married to her chick.
Well, I think they're planning to get married, or maybe they are married now. I don't know. I don't keep
Mm.
up with it. But
I
we talked
follow
about.
her on Instagram. I can't remember. I think she was just showing her off, like the
Oh, they
chick
got a
body.
show. She has a reality show called Brat Loves Judy, and this is about their relationship. I know what you're saying.
I mean, it's all good to get your money, you know.
Mildred said they're married, and once again, you have to understand on here we don't care. You know, we don't care about you know. If you gay or not, I'm not gonna try to sugarcoat it. If you gay, you gay. I don't care about that. That don't bother
Right,
me.
right.
But I just feel like the Brat has been around for a very long time. She was very accomplished in hip hop. She's the first platinum female rapper and all this kind of stuff. Always was respected, and so her accomplishments were great. And the Brat, by the way, when did time for beating up a bottle girl in the club with a bottle. So don't talk
Yeah.
about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock and coming out and getting it together. Like the Brat has done that too. But so they have this show about her and her wife, which is interesting to me that they give her a show when she says, "Okay, I'm gay." I'm gonna link all this together with Young Jock saying, "Why do people got to come out the closet?" Like, I'm gonna link all this together, right? It's once again, it's the agenda. It doesn't drive me crazy. I'm not paranoid. I'm not worried about it. I'm not insecure about it. It is a pronounced agenda. We know that there's an agenda for LGBTQ. There's absolutely an agenda, right? And so when I see this, and then they stretch, now they saying, well, Brad is worried about her music coming out and if it's gonna be any good. And it's like, why the Brat still rapping? Is the first thing I thought about. Like,
Right,
no,
that's why I was like, damn, is this old music or new? Then when you said, is it gonna be any good? I'm like, this new music?
look, it's
But
not gonna sell, Brat. Even if you are gay, it's not gonna sell. I feel like even with like her and like Niecy Nash, who we talk about on the show, who wrote the book about how to keep your husband satisfied and all this, and married 2 or 3 men, and then she came out and said, "No, I'm marrying this lady." And so there's a different now you're on a different plane when you come out like that, even for a man, right? Like if Jay-Z came out tomorrow and said, "Y'all know what? I'm gay, but I got a new album coming," are you gonna buy his new album?
Nah, I don't listen to Jay-Z like that anyway. But I
Pick a
mean,
rapper you like. I like when brothers try to say, I don't listen to it anyways. Pick one of your favorite rappers. Who's your favorite
one of my
who's your
favorite rappers. Shit, Pimp C dead. Crit.
artist, period? Who if they release the album tomorrow, you go buy it.
Crit, Big Crit. And as long as his music is still dope, I don't give a fuck who he fucking. His last couple albums, but though, it's like it's fucked up that you stop liking people music when they happy and healthy.
Right.
It's like
So my point is,
it be the music when they make when they
comes out,
depressed and shit.
if Big Crit come right, nobody likes Happy Mary J. Blige, right? If Big Crit come out right and says, "I'm gay and here's my boyfriend Tommy, but I got an album coming out tomorrow," would you still go buy his album?
Yeah. To see,
Okay.
the hope is the old Crit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Well, I guess it all depends on his content. Like if he rapping about that shit, I can't relate to it, so that's nothing I would vibe with. You know what I'm saying?
So why
If he's
buy it?
sitting on my man lap, it's like, no, I can't do that shit.
So why buy it?
It all, like I said, it depends on the content. If I haven't heard the content, I'm gonna try to support him just because I'm a fan of his.
It ain't gonna be as
Just
automatic. It ain't gonna be as automatic as it used to be. You're gonna do some research. Like, let me look at the track listing first, because as soon as I see me and my baby, I'm not buying this shit. I say that to say because I wouldn't.
Oh, you wouldn't,
right? Like, I would.
because of his orientation.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not because I have anything against him being gay, but I'm not gay. And so his appeal, his art's appeal to me was on the level of that. I thought it was two brothers kind of communicating, as men and saying, this is my outlook, this is what we're talking about. If you want to switch that narrative and say, okay, well, now I'm gay, Kevin, but I'm the same dude. Well, actually, you're not. You're not the same person. You're not the same person no more. You know what I'm saying? It's like people even ask me this. If you found out right now, if some stuff came out and said Tupac Shakur, who I've said many times is my favorite artist of all time, favorite rapper, everything, and they say some pictures popped up, some movies, some stuff came out, and Tupac was actually gay, would you still like his music? I would say I still like his old music, but I wouldn't buy nothing if he came out with some new shit, right? And how I see Tupac is forever compromised after that, because this dude was gay the whole time and he was hiding it. I said all that to say, Brad, don't make no new album.
I mean, it was never a damn mystery about the Brat or
right.
Like that's what be funny to me when motherfuckers say they coming out. First off, what are you coming out of? I don't give a fuck. You can stay in there, sit on the outside or whatever, but when they, it just be no shocker when the brat came out with a wife. It's like, oh, okay, she's finally living her truth, huh? Or when Queen Latifah came out, it's like, oh, okay, she finally living her
Right.
truth. Like, I mean, I don't know if MC Light came out or not.
No,
Well,
MC Light
I
has
ain't gonna put that
actually
on
had
her. But
husbands. She's
see, but that's
actually
the
had
thing.
husbands.
If I found out MC Light was gay, I'd be like, oh, okay. Like some people, it's just they're them. I don't care, but I also wouldn't be shocked
It
if
would
something
change my
came out.
perception of them. It would change my perception of them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't. But I'm. It's all about personal. Like my perception of Serena Williams changed when she married a white dude. Like I was like, oh, to me, her appeal ain't never been the same. And it's wrong of me. Look, when I found out Diana
Now,
Ross,
I'm gonna be honest. I was right there with you.
it's like nah, like, and it wasn't that I ever thought I had a shot at her or nothing like that. It was, but like I just felt like no, like I just felt like it was a bad look. But a lot of celebrities, like I look at Young Jeezy right now with the Asian or whatever his wife is now, and it's like wow. For years I listened to you talking about slanging dope and really pimping and macking and playing black women. And not only you sent your kid off to private school, but then you married a non-black woman, right? So I feel like
That's right.
right, what a fool. I'm a fool, right? Like I just party with you and like you just shitting on people. It's the same thing with Andre 3000. I understand Andre 3000 is kind of like this eclectic kind of dude, but he's married some Asian woman now. You from Atlanta? Like I thought Atlanta was supposed to be where the black women. Because remember, no, that was Big Boy who used to draw the Afro girls on the album covers.
No, that was Andre 3000.
Was it Andre who drew the Afro naked Afro black girls?
All the Black Velvet girls. I want some
Yeah, he
Black
has
Velvet
songs where he
pants.
talk about. He has songs where he talks about it. But you support or stand behind NBA and NFL athletes. I absolutely do not. It changes my perception of them as well. Thank you, Sharon Evans. I'm glad you said that. And I was just about to throw one of those examples in there because we was just critical of Shannon Sharp, right? Remember when it came
Come
out a
on,
couple
Skip.
right? Skip. Come on now, Skip. I got my back in my eye, Skip. I got my innocence. I'm doing what my grandmama said, Skip. No, when we found out Shannon was you talk like us, you claim to be someone who champions our causes on TV when you go back and forth and you talk from our perspective, and you went to an HBCU only to find out that you only date blonde white women. Me, it changes my perception of you.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, so I say, oh, okay, I see what it is. Like, I ain't saying I'm right. I'm just being honest about how I feel. So a lot of people might say, no, Kevin, that's wrong, but they might have their own kind of built-in
That's
prejudice.
just how you feel, though. That's
right.
just how you feel.
I'm just gonna be honest. She said you're not supposed to love who you love or grow or choose your happiness because it doesn't sit right with others. Hell no, I'm not saying that. Because look, first of all, I got a snowball's chance in hell of ever meeting Serena Williams, and she will never even probably know who my black ass is. And this is all the more reason for me to have the right to my opinion about it, right? Like, and I absolutely believe if you love somebody, go ahead and get with them. You better not be worried about what somebody say,
right?
Because you the fool if you do that. But right. I'm saying as a black man, okay, on a whole, not specifically, as a black man, to me, it says something when you marry a white woman or a black woman who marries a white man. For me, I say, explain that to me. That's an interesting dichotomy because you say, I love my people, I love being black, and but who is your life? You married a white man though, or you know what I'm saying? You married a white woman. Like, I guess I can't doubt how much you, because who knows? It don't mean you ain't as black as I am because you marry a white person. I'm just saying, in my mind, when I see a black woman, this is what I do. When I see a black woman with a white man, most of the time, the first thing that comes to my head is one word: bed wench. And when I see a black dude with a white woman, the first thing that comes to my head is sellout ass dude. And it just happens. It just happens in my head. I don't say it out loud, but
damn.
And I could be wrong. I really
That's how
could.
you feel, man. That's how you feel.
But it's just what I'm just explaining, and you'd be surprised to find out there's a lot of black people who feel that way too. Like, oh, because we talk this good game about what we want our race to be and where we want to go, and we want a nation of strong black people and da 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 da, and then the first chance that they extend to us to be a part of them, we jump on it. Oh, I'm gone. Right? What he's saying Friday, as soon as I got my check, I was
I
gone.
was gone.
Right? Right? So you can love your people and end up falling in love with others outside of your race. I'm not saying that you can't. I'm absolutely not. I got some partners that's some real dudes. I know, and some of the dudes who I know is real street dudes. That's with a white woman right now. It don't make them it don't make him no less man. But I
Right.
do look at him and say, in my mind, once again, that's my inside voice saying, yeah, but this dude still got this white. And it kind of depends on how you do it too. Because if all of a sudden you are like kind of encapsulated into her world and you become this whole different kind of dude, or you one of these dudes who says these things about, yeah, you can do this with a black woman, or I don't like black women because, or yeah, black women never wanted me and all that. Then I started going, you're a very peculiar fellow, right? So I don't. So you right. You can love whoever you want. It's so hard to find somebody to love your ass. That's the biggest thing. So a
It
lot of
is.
times, but are you in love with somebody who loves you, or are you in love with somebody who enables you? So you would be with a white girl because maybe she let you do some stuff to her that a black girl wouldn't have, a black woman wouldn't have. So you then say, well, I love her for this, not because of, because I truly love her. I love her because I know I can come home and tear this motherfucker up and act a fool, and she'll be like, oh no, Tayshawn, no. Instead of a sister would be like, motherfucker, you clean all this shit. Like, black women hold you to a higher, I feel like black women is because we in the same community. So they can see a lot of our shit coming before we get there with it and be like, nah, that ain't gonna work over here, bro. That ain't gonna work. She said your own race can enable you. It's very true. Yeah, it's some black women who could do that, but I'm not speaking about. I'm thinking about strength on strength, because I absolutely know that there's some weak people out here, no matter what race they are, that can be manipulated or whatever. I'm saying when we talk about good, strong women for black men, right? Like, so what's the best thing in the world for a strong black man? To me, it's a strong black woman, and vice versa. Can it be done with a white man? Of course. Can it be done with a white woman? Of course, right? It don't, and that's why you don't catch me running up in people's face trying to tell them, man, what you doing with this white woman? That ain't my marry who the fuck. I mean, marry who you want, but in my inside voice, yeah, I'm gonna be saying,
Inside
watch
voice.
this motherfucker. He married to I'm just watching you. You see what I'm saying? So it's the same thing with a gay dude. It's the same thing with a gay dude. Like if one of my partners who I've known forever came and said, Kev, I'm a real one. I've been with you. Like we've been in the trenches together. We've been, to the wall, to the mattresses with this thing. But I'm in love with a man. Are you cool with that? I would look at you and say, hell no, I ain't cool with that. I'm good, bro. You
Oh,
know
for
what?
real.
Good luck, man. Good luck. You know what?
So
Hey, check this.
would you stop being their friend?
The friendship goes down a notch. It changes. It does. I I listen to Tupac. I brought up Tupac, and I talk about, I listen to a lot of his songs, but it's harder for me to listen to songs with Danny Boy on them now, because now that I know Danny Boy is gay. And so a lot of us have said, man, and Danny Boy has said it's a lot of people who just stopped messing with him once he came out and said, hey, I'm gay. Like, right. So, and so when dude said, why do you have to come out? Young Jock said that, and you just said, why you got to come out? I don't know
Yeah,
if it should be called coming out, but I think you absolutely have to be honest with people about who you are and what you are. See, don't be my heterosexual friend for 25 years and then come to me and say, well, I'm gay. I was hiding it the whole time. Because what that means is you've been lying to me for 25 years. It ain't really about the fact that you gay. If you'd have told me when we first met, like, Kev, I'm gay though, that would have gave me a chance to make my decision right there to say, yeah, but you good people, dog. Don't worry.
they might not have knew back then. I think some of them cats, they have you know what, shit, I don't know. I just know growing up, like, even if a motherfucker had a hint of it, if it was men around, they was, hey, straighten up, boy. You hold you know, stick your chest out, put your head up. So I think some of them motherfuckers so used to playing that role that once they get older into an age where they like, man, I got more years behind me than in front of me. I got to be true to myself. I mean, shit. As long as they ain't trying to fuck with me, shit, live your truth, G. I mean, I don't really think it needs a ceremony and, oh, this is who I am. It's just, because I don't care. Like, I don't care who anybody fucking with. Just like I guess Young Jock said, it doesn't have to be announced. I mean, if you show up to the party with another dude and it's like, oh, hey, this your guy, yeah, this my partner.
Not
Okay,
cool.
well, it's just
Not
like, okay,
cool.
well, shit, the punch over
Not
here
cool.
type shit.
Not cool. Not cool. Not cool
Even if
at
they
all.
ain't making passes at you or nothing like that, it's
No,
just
listen,
not cool.
don't show up at no. If you my homeboy, right? Don't let that be the way I find out, especially where you say,
yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be up there, man. I'm gonna meet you up there. And you get in there and you walk in and you like this with a dude, and I'm standing there going, fuck dude doing? And you come to me and say, Kev, I want you to meet Bill. This is my boyfriend. I would say, motherfucker, you could have introduced me to Bill like somewhere else. Like you should have said, meet me at so and so first, meet me at the gas station or something, right? That's just me though. Like, don't
I feel you.
it's okay. It's okay for you to say, I'm gay. And then if I say, well, you know what, bro? Good luck. You better be ready to deal with that because it's gonna benefit you more to live and be who you are than to live a lie. That's Crystal Ship in the chat room saying, I get what you're saying. I myself won't date outside of our race. However, I'm all for love no matter what race you are. If they like it, I love it. Exactly. And I ain't got to sleep with it.
And that's how I am. I don't care who anybody else fucking with. Me personally, I believe it's such a black male shortage that I would be doing black women a disservice fucking with anything else. But then when I see other dudes fucking with anything else, it's just like, okay, cool. When I got enough money to get my polygamy jumping off, that's more women for me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have a bunch of different races, right? There's
Oh no,
Filipinos.
The good thing about black women, man, oh, they so delicious. They come in every shade, G. They just, I mean, shit. If whatever shade you looking for, you gonna find the sister in that shade. Whatever culture you looking for, you want some Haitian food, Puerto Rican food, something like that. They still sisters. Like that's the greatness of a goddess, man.
How can they admit it to you when they probably just admitted it to themselves? That's a good question. But you know what, Crystal? If you just admitted it to yourself and this is your new understanding and your new truth, you got to hit reset about a lot of stuff. And new friends is part of that, right? Like, so you gonna need some new people, right? Like, so I'm gonna step on off and let you go and do your thing. And you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be over that way. It ain't like if you really needed some help, you couldn't call me and say, Kev, I need some help. Like, I say, cool, I got you, bro. But it ain't gonna be no more. Hey man, let's let's go to the here. Nah, I'm good, bro. And if you ask me because I'm gay, I'm gonna say, yeah. I don't want that to be everywhere I go from now on. I gotta deal with, damn, dog. Kev, where your guy at? What's up with your man?
I mean, shit.
Where your boy at? If you knew, didn't you? It's just like you go in the locker room and it's a distraction. We don't want to talk about the 25 points I just scored. You want to ask me about Deshaun Watson's victims. It's a distraction. I don't need shit, right? So here we say and change, get new friends. She said some folks come out late. Why must it be announced? I don't think it has to be announced, but I think you have to prepare the people that you know for it. Like if you're about to hit the switch, the people that you love, that love you, that support you, deserve a heads up to say, hey man, I just gotta tell you something. I ain't making no big deal out of this, but I just, I've been going through a lot and I just realized, man, I'm gay, man. And this is how I'm moving from now. Give me a chance to do that. And so, like I said, we can move forward. You don't got to come out grandiose. Like, guess what, everybody? You come out a pink cake or something like that. You don't got to do all that. And it's too many brothers on the down low with the down low, right? Like, and so that's where it became like, well, don't be playing like you straight. Don't be playing like you straight. I've had jobs where there was some dudes that was gay, and they went about their business as a man on the job every day, and that's how we related to them at the job. We did not have conversations with them that wasn't heterosexual in nature, meaning, so you sitting around with your coworkers, your fellas that you work with, and all y'all talking about, yeah, my girl, my wife, and I did this and I did. He can't come join in that conversation and be like, yeah, my boyfriend, I so mad at my man this morning. He'd be like, nah, bro, you can't come over here with that. You got to go to the gay table. You can't
Damn.
come to the gay table with that. Like, I don't want you to come in and be like, woo wee, I told my man up this morning. Like, you know how you talk to some brothers, you be like, man, how you doing? Man, I'm good now, man. And it depends on your level of friendship with the brother.
See,
Sometimes
me
they
personally, I like my heterosexual niggas ain't got to tell me about their rendezvous. If I
no. That's
ain't,
what I'm saying. Not in that regard. I'm saying, you know how it be like, you say like, man, me and the wife, man, it was on all weekend, man. We'll get away and leave it at that. You ain't got to go into, man, I was hitting it from the back and all that.
oh
I
okay,
ain't just juvenile.
uh,
I ain't talking about in that regard. I'm saying, you say,
see,
man, I had to do something for my lady, man. She was all up on the brother, man, all weekend. You know how we talk, like, how you doing, man? Good. What you do
yeah,
this weekend? Man, was up in the hotel with wifey, laid up. You know how I do it. Boom.
see,
That's all that needs to be said.
I had a coworker who did have a husband, and the crazy thing is, I worked with his husband at AT&T and worked with him at Spectrum. So, you know,
Set them up.
it's damn near, it was damn near like if he was talking about him, it's like, oh, because that's a common dude we knew, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, and I knew who they were and how they was, and they were just cool people. Like, again, I guess, and I guess move how you move and be comfortable how you comfortable.
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's like as long as a motherfucker respect me and respect my space, ain't trying to hit on me, invite me to no weird ass shindigs or something. You know what I'm saying? But they be cool. Shit. I'm cool with everybody. Like, dude used
I'm
to.
not.
I mean,
I'm
he might talk about how him and his husband took a trip or a cruise, but then he might bring some baked cookies in the next day. It'd be like, damn, that motherfucker bake his ass off. Like,
uh,
so it just be like,
no. I won't be eating none of them cookies, Jack. I promise
damn,
you. Nah, man.
they gonna convert you with the cookies,
No,
like
no. And I don't want to hear about you and your husband or what y'all did. Well, like, that's why I say you gotta go
they
to
just
the.
went on a cruise. I mean, they don't
I'm
get
gonna get
like,
up. I'm going to get up and walk away from the table respectfully.
oh
When you
damn.
sit down and start talking like that, Mildred said, "It's your life. You don't have to tell anyone. Just live your life. Go ahead." Once again, I believe you can do whatever you want to do. Totally. I don't. And please, if anybody think I am under the impression that you give a fuck what I think about you, please understand. I know you don't. Right? Like, so I'm not saying anything to try and switch anybody over or bring them over on my side. What I'm doing is being honest about where I'm at, which a lot of people don't do. They'll front because they want to be perceived a certain way. I'd rather for you to see me for who I am than to love me for who I'm not. Mildred said, "Thank you, light skin." She talking to you, Rail. She called you light skin. She done said, "Tell us light skin" a couple times on the show.
Oh, for real?
uh, Sharon Evans said, "Tell them." Yeah, Rail, you right. Because hey, obviously, listen, it's okay to be the asshole in the conversation. I don't mind that.
I mean,
I
it's just
think,
how you feel. That's
as a
cool how
matter of
you
fact,
feel.
a lot of things. If somebody sat down and had a conversation with me, and they said, Kevin, you can be 100% honest about how you feel and what you think.
Yeah.
I think they would be shocked about a lot of things, but I think they'd also say, damn, I never thought about it like that. Because now if you sit down and say, Kevin, be nice, right? Be considerate and try to consider this. That's a different conversation. Because now you're not asking me,
How you
how I
feel
really
and your thoughts and shit.
you
Right, right.
asking me like, hey, like if I'm at work, I'm not gonna bust out and be like, you can't sit next to me, Jimmy.
And I don't want your cookies.
I'm not gonna eat none of the cookies. I'm not eating the cookies. No, I don't want none of your cookies. Right. And I'll tell you, and that's one of them things where I probably would get in trouble if you said to me, Kev, I notice everybody be eating the cookies, but you won't eat no cookies. Oh, you won't eat no cookies.
They
I'll
got
be
gay
honest
juice on
with
them.
you,
I
like,
don't want that.
no, because I'm not eating no cookies, dude, man.
Oh, man, that's
To
funny.
me, that goes against, and because you can eat some cookies from some women and it be some foul shit in them.
It could be. Definitely
Her
could.
house might be nasty or whatever. But just a mere gesture for a man to come into work and say, "Hey, Kev, how you doing? I made some cookies. You want one?" Nah, bro, I'm good. I don't want none of your cookies. You know what
Damn.
I'm saying?
Okay. Okay.
I feel like I get upset when you tell me I don't have the right to not agree with what you're doing. I feel like, damn, now you invading on my rights, right?
They ain't asking you to participate. You know what
But
I'm
you want me
saying?
to eat
Like
the cookies? That's participating.
that it's a cookie, G. Like that
Not
nigga
just
used
the
to bake his
cookie.
ass
It's
off,
not
man.
just the cookie. Listen. So you don't want to grow into accepting others no matter who they like. Not only to a certain degree. I mean, let me have my comfort zone.
I
Because
feel
I don't
you,
want I
man. How
listen,
you?
if you have a man, if you gay and you have a boyfriend, I don't want nothing bad to happen to you. I don't want none of your rights to be taken. I don't want you to be like ostracized or anything of that nature. But I also don't want to hang around you and your husband. I also don't want to go to a gay club with you. I don't want to listen to gay music. I don't want to watch gay movies. I don't want to do nothing gay with you. And I
Gay
have that
music.
right. Like, bro, he
What's
got their
gay
own artist
music?
and everything. Like, it just came out.
Like dude, dig this shit. You know, one of my favorite songs. I was just bumping that shit. I was bumping that shit down here. Look, you see my setup.
Right.
Bumping that shit down here, motherfucking George Michael's "Careless Whispers." That motherfucking saxophone, G.
Right.
Now is that gay music? Like I don't
Absolutely.
know.
He was gay.
I mean,
Absolutely.
he was gay
Right.
as hell, but that motherfucker used to sing his ass off. You know what I'm saying?
I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm
And then
cool.
I seen him do a cover of it with Smokey Robinson, and that shit was just on a whole nother level.
I'm cool. I'm cool. I'm cool. I've been cool with George for. I used to like when I was little, wake me up, and then I was like, wait a minute, this ain't right.
Oh damn!
And faith and all that shit, and then I said, nah, well, take that off the playlist.
See, man,
Milton
should I listen
said,
to Queen? I listen to Elton John.
I
Like
listen.
I
You know
guess
what? I listen to Billy Preston, Nothing from Nothing, and I understand that Billy Preston was what they call a very aggressive homosexual, but that's that's neither here nor there. And I still like some Luther stuff, and Luther's been questioned. I'm not saying it's the number one kind of thing, but I'm saying it is a thing that I consider. She said, Mildred said, Kevin, you don't know the sexual preference of the people that make the food you purchase. Why won't you eat cookies from you do? Come on, bro. She want me to get myself one of these.
man,
Here's
shit,
the
you was
deal
just
about
missing
the
out,
cookies.
G.
Here's the deal about the cookies. It doesn't matter if the dude who makes them are gay. There's never been a situation where a dude that I know that I work with came into me and said, dog, I baked these cookies. You want one? To me, I'm not supposed to eat cookies like that from a man. A man say, bro, you make some cookies last night? It ain't about the dude being gay. It's just about a man trying to give me some cookies. I don't want no cookies from you, bro. Now, I don't know what the sexual preference is of people who make my food. You absolutely correct about that. And so it's like, don't know, don't ask. What they say, don't ask, don't tell. Like the food, you made the food, right? It's good, it's done. It's a transaction. Now, when I go, because I don't went to restaurants. For instance, we used to go to this restaurant called Subs and Stuff. Now, this shows if you've been on California
Dog,
for a long
I
time.
try to tell people about that restaurant and don't nobody remember. I
Yeah,
was like, they
Subs and
had
Stuff
a
was definitely
catfish sub that used to slap.
it had
Like,
everything. We used to get
man.
one called El Dorado. It was ridiculous. It was bananas, right? And of course, there was a lot of weed involved in this shit, right? Like, so we already have the
Oh,
money.
okay, yeah.
You see how it's pull up 3 cars deep. Everybody go to Subs and Stuff, right? Now, so, but when you walk in Subs and Stuff, after a certain point, you realize that the dudes behind the glass was of a different ilk. There was a little bit something going on there. Hey, how you doing? To the point where they knew us. Like, what's up, y'all? What y'all getting tonight? Like, didn't bother us in the least. We still would buy our food and we would
Right.
hit it.
As it should be.
Really about that, right? But so now, if I just so happen to be walking down the street, or if I'm at work and there's just a random gay dude or a random dude, period, like, hey man, you want a sandwich? Nah, bro, I'm good. I don't want no sandwich. Cool.
Random dude.
So I'm not. Once again, it's just a gesture of the man telling me he want me to eat some of his cookies. That personally, that's what they call it, a red flag for me. I go, what? Nah, bro, I'm
I
good.
feel you.
You talking about, do I want I'm straight. So if it's bad, it's bad, but it's just how I feel. Once again, I don't want him to get fired. He can come out, he can say, Kev, I'm got He see me, what's up, Kev? What up, man? How you doing? We keep it pushing. But it is some stuff he can't do to me now, right? Like, so if he sees something, hey, Kev, check this out, and be like, hey, dog, I'm gonna be like this. Hold on, bro. Say it from there. Don't go. I'm trying to whisper in my ear and shit. You good? Just what you got to say, man? What's
Careless
happening?
whisper.
Right. That's some George Michael shit. Talking about, look over there at him. Why you breathing so hard? My damn ear.
Damn, man.
Bill just said I cannot do. Nah, I once again, it sounds a certain way, but once again, we have the right to these
You
feelings.
have the right to feel that way. Yeah, you have the right to feel that way.
When I first started doing this years ago, I tell the story all the time. I went, the first thing, shout out to my homeboy, Antoine Young, when he found out that I was podcasting, this was like 7 years ago, and it really wasn't popping yet. There was really only Homer Blow doing this kind of thing. And so he said immediately, Kev, I'm cool with Homer Blow. So if you want to do that shit, let me introduce you to Homer Blow, right? And I said, no, you know what? That's cool, dog. Yeah, I would. I wouldn't mind. We went on Homer Blow's show, and he had a transgender male, a gay male, and 2 gay females, like more what we would consider butch kind of female. And they felt a certain way about straight dudes, and they wasn't shy about saying it. They was absolutely convinced that we were all curious, that we all really secretly wanted them in some shape, form, or fashion. The women, the females, were absolutely sure of how inferior men were to them and how they could please a woman so much better, and that we were actually jealous of them. That's how they felt. And I
was on my heels earlier today.
Huh?
Said someone was on my heels earlier today about a comment I posted. It was wild, man. They had posted a picture about let's normalize hair bumps from waxing, and I'm like, or you can leave your shit alone and let it grow like the good Lord intended. Dude, they hopped on my ass like, so that's disgusting. We're cavemen now. We're just letting it grow. Shitting is natural, but I'm not gonna shit in front of you. And I'm like, damn. So I went to the girl profile because she came at me aggressive. Then I looked and she was, man, high top fade, bow ties and shit. I said, oh, okay, that's why she don't like pussy hair. She probably hate the fact she got a pussy. So, but they was at on my heels earlier today, man. Because I'm trying to educate them about themselves. They're like, it holds bacteria and smell. No, bitch, you stink. If it holds smell, you stink. All it's doing is holding. That's a whole nother story, G. But but they was on my heels.
It's like I said, you are intellectual most of the time, and you're very profound. But if I give you enough room, pretty soon you jumping out the window too. So get him, rail, yeah.
Because hair don't cause smell; it holds smell. Your diet, how you move, all that shit holds smell. The hair actually protect your shit. Walking around with BV because. Oh yeah, he did.
I'm talking about Sharon Evans said he's setting you up with the invitations and cookies in the gym.
Oh, like, the cookies in the gym.
No, I ain't doing no cookies like that, man. I don't, I got a partner who's a chef, like a gourmet chef, like he's an executive chef, like he's cooked in some of the most like real, like top-notch restaurants. Right now, he's cooking somewhere. I forgot where last time I seen him, and he puts a lot of food on Facebook, right? So I say, okay, if I was ever me and him was kicking it and I was at his house and he said, Kev, dog, I'm about to fry up this whatever. You want some of it? I said, yeah, all right, dog, throw me some in there. If a brother's on the grill, boom, Kev, I'm grilling. You want? Yeah, man, okay, man, put a couple ribs on the plate, right, like that. But boom. But just a random cat like who I don't even my friend who's a chef couldn't bring me some cookies and be like, Kev, I made these cookies. Eat them.
I feel you. I mean, I'm not like that with cookies and no shit, but like I'm like that with spaghetti. Like I don't eat any other woman's spaghetti. So I understand what you're saying, and we got our idiosyncrasies and hangups and shit.
Yeah, everybody got some twitch, right? Like it's just but a lot of people won't be honest about what theirs is. I'm just honest about mine because once we can get over that, then we can move forward. Like I worked with a gay dude one time when I was at St. Charles, and I actually almost one time got caught up in between him and his lover spat, right? Because I guess he had this dude's truck, and I don't know. I'm like I say, I'm the sensible savage. I drag my knuckles on the ground. And this dude's like, he's calling like is so and so. I'm gonna say the dude name. It's so and so and so. Obviously, the dude on the other end is very zesty. I don't know. Can we say zesty? I don't know if that's offensive. Can we
I
say
don't.
zesty?
I don't think they caught on to that one yet. That's the word
Okay,
I
so just for
use.
tonight, we're gonna say it's a lot. He's very zesty on the other end of the phone, and I'm kind of looking at the phone, going, "Whoa!" And he just goes into this rant about what my coworker has been doing. So he's like, "Is he driving an Escalade?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think so." Because he asked me, "Was he there?" And I said, "I don't know. I just got there. I just got here. I don't know where he is." He was like, "Well, could you look? Could you see if he's driving an Escalade or if it's an Escalade in the parking lot, something of that nature?" I look. I say, "Yeah, it's one. I don't know if that's what he's driving. Well, that's my truck. He's had my truck and all this and so I'm sitting here like, okay, well, he ain't here. I'll have him call you." But he wants to go on and on and on and on and tell me about. And so I'm just like, okay, you know what, man? I'm gonna tell him to call you. So when I hang up, when this brother comes on, when he comes back to the unit, and so what's happening? I say, man, you just had a phone call. And he's like, what? And I go, yeah, dude said you got his truck, and I tell him all this stuff, and he goes, oh man, dude is tripping, man. That's my guy, man. I don't know why he be acting like that. I said, no, because he was still trying to trying to play it off like, nah, I know what that is. That's y'all having an issue, right? Like, and so
right.
he was trying to. I didn't give him no problem about it. Look, I strategically removed myself from the. I said, well, I don't know, because he was like, man, you shouldn't have told him nothing. You shouldn't have said that. I said, look, man, I don't know what you got going on with dude, man. I don't know. So
Right.
call him. There go his number. Call him. And then I got up out of it. But I almost got, because they eventually had it out in the parking lot and shit. And it was like, man, this is crazy. If I'd had a camera, man, Love and Hip Hop we could have started that shit in Milwaukee. Sharon Evans said flaming. She said that's the word, flaming, not zesty, flaming. Okay, well, you know, TD Jakes is now they saying he's facing pressure. His church is falling off. That's something we're gonna be looking at over the next few weeks because of what he said about women and masculinity. Yeah, man. I guess the last thing I wanted to talk about was there's this thing called Live Golf. And it's an alternative golf league and it's supposedly backed up by Saudi investors, and they are offering like golfers like super crazy amounts to play in their tournaments. Tiger Woods said he turned down $700 million to play in the Live tournament, and this is all because they said, well, the Saudis are the primary source of what happened on 9/11. They funded some of the hijackers. It's disrespectful to people who lost somebody on 9/11. That's blood money. Don't take that money. And like Charles Barkley, finally, and I usually don't like nothing Charles Barkley says, but he's like, look, man, I ain't gonna lie. People say it's all about the money. He said, you're right. If they come at me with something crazy, like, I just can't ignore it. Yeah, I'm gonna go get that money. But I'm looking at it like Tiger Woods is, you at the end of your career, bro. You ain't won a tournament in years. You've been in car accidents. Your wife done whooped your ass. Your white wife, by the way, went third and Galena on you and shit and broke your windows. I bust the windows out your car. All this kind of shit. You thought you was safe because she was not Norwegian, didn't you? Yeah. Okay.
So he don't want to get paid by the Middle Easterns who may have been involved with it, but he okay with getting paid by the white folk who was involved with it. Like they still don't say what happened to Building 7. That motherfucker ain't get hit by no planes or nothing. It just collapsed with demolition precision. So he okay with that.
Have so many questions about what, and one day we'll find out, right? But I think it's a ruse.
We already know.
Well, no, I don't think everybody knows, and this is why you get people who come out and say, well, don't play golf over there because the Saudis are the reason 9/11 happened. Now, they might have been part of it, but it's many other moving pieces to that. And like, that's a whole different kind of, because you talking about that, like, first of all, just to watch engineers talk about the behavior of the buildings with what happened to them, right? Like, so
collapsed this section. Boom, 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 boom. That was dynamite, man.
The temperatures of jet fuel burning reaching the temperatures that it would have taken. Like, it's a whole bunch of stuff involved. So, but they pull the rules. I said that to say it's a rules. It's a rules that they pull. There's a lot of shit with 9/11 that America ain't gonna be able to deal with it until the people who are involved are all dead and gone. So that won't come out until it's just like with the JFK assassination. They
Right,
slowed
right,
information. They had the Warren Commission. They slow, and then when they did release the FBI papers, then it was redacted, and they had all kinds of blacked out because that means some of these people are still alive or there's a connection to somebody who's, so the people involved in this won't be exposed for a long time. But the fact
right,
that
right.
you have people who would come out and say, no, don't go get $700 million because his people had something to do with 9/11. Deuces to you. I would be playing the hell out of some golf over there. I can't golf.
Right.
I'll be over there. First of all, for Tiger to take a stand against this, but maybe he has, but I've never heard him speak about the racist nature of most country clubs. There's a lot of country clubs that
I
Tiger
ain't heard him say nothing
golf
about it.
that black people will never be able to get in. Never. We know golf is one of the come on, man. It's one of the most blue bloodiest sports that there's ever been. Dad, she said, did they hit each other with their press? I don't know what they was doing out there. I got the fuck little. I was way on the other side of St. Charles on Watertown Plank Road. When as soon as it went down, I said, I'm out of here. My other coworker was dying laughing. He said, Kev, where you going? I said, man, I'm not finna be around for this. Because if they go to fighting, I'm not going out there breaking it up. And so
Right.
that boy wanted his Escalade back. He was just like, how you just gonna run out? And I come to find out that it was, working. It's a long story. It's a Tyler Perry movie waiting to happen.
Right. He'd take the jacket from them.
Favorite son. Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Tiger, he done renounced his blackness a long time ago.
But
so it wasn't the
Tiger's
black part getting in the country clubs, it was the Asian part.
Yeah, Tiger's been a very classy coon, though. He's been a very classy, sophisticated for a very long time, right? Like he's been able to do that and just kind of not just, it hasn't been overt. He just moved a certain way. It is what it is. He's not done the Alfonso Ribeiro thing. Like I guess dudes say he ain't went full retard with it yet. He ain't came out and tried because Tiger ain't gonna talk about it with you. He'd be like, no, I don't. No. Tiger don't be at shit black people be at. You don't ever see him come to nothing. They be, Tiger Woods in the audience. No. Tiger Woods not in the audience, motherfucker. So yeah,
he got his hookers.
Right, well, you never know. She said Mildred said 9/11 happened because white folks tried to get over on the wrong people. Didn't say nothing about racism. Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. The money for me, if you're gonna ask me something like that, is it about the money? Yes, I'm gone. Especially if I ain't got to do nothing to compromise myself to get it. Yeah, I'm gonna move around. I'm gonna go get that paper. So it ain't, as long as they say, Kev, you gotta come out with a skirt on in the turn. Nah, I'm good. Then again, $700 million. No, I'm just kidding.
It might be a kilt. Do you know what I'm saying? What if it's plaid?
Right. That's why I had to slow down. Like, well, wait a minute. One man's skirt is another man's kilt.
Right.
Look,
Black
man,
Scottish.
It's 10:17. We ain't never went this long before. Y'all got me excited. I want to shout out to you, especially Sharon Evans and Mildred Watson and we got a bunch of people in the chat room, man, just going in. Shout out to Big Mike Kimmett. Who else we got? I don't want to miss nobody. Crystal Ship, of course. Man, all of y'all, I appreciate y'all support. Share the show, man. Rail got these books out here. Rail, tell them real quick about your book, what you got with your books and how they can get your book.
Okay. They both on Amazon. I got 12 Steps to Becoming Your Own Dope. That was my journey of self-love, shadow work, and empowering myself through knowledge of myself. Then I got my multidimensional mindset gratitude journal, which helps you go on a 30-day journey of cultivating gratitude to help shift your perspective to a more optimistic, grateful point of view versus a pessimistic one. And then you can find me on TikTok, Higher Frequency, HIGHER FREAKUNCY. Just dropped a video today talking about sex, just basically how music dictates how Black people express themselves sexually. Back in the day, a motherfucker would fight you if you said they masturbated until Juvenile made it cool. Girls, a lot of women didn't admit of having other female counterparts until Young Dro said my girl got a girlfriend. So I just kind of go into that and break that down on today's video.
That's what's up, man. Support this brother. If you're not in the People's News Network, get in there, man. Get in there. Get in there. If you're my friend, if we're friends on Facebook, I can add you. Just let me know you want to be added. All you got to do is just go look. The People's News Network. It has an African continent symbol, but it says Milwaukee on it. So it's probably the most unmistakable group logo you'll see. And listen, man, I hope people understand that on this show, what we do is we try to look for answers. We talked about the sister getting fired from the Office of Violence Prevention. I've always been one to say we can't put it all on the Office of Violence Prevention to stop violence in the city where we have so many issues for people of color, poverty being one of those main things. There's many components that need to be brought together, many organizations that need to coexist, many groups of people that need to interact for us to really start moving in the right direction. I did say we were trending in the wrong direction the other night, and so this kind of shows that there was something to that. That statistically where we're at is not a good place. But then if you go out and look at the actual community, you see it ain't just about the statistics. This shit is really hard out here for us. We're really going through something. And so we got to think about that. I'm dying to know what the whole story is. And I'm pretty sure it'll come out. This is still kind of fresh and hot off the presses. I kind of grabbed it as soon as I got ready to do the show. I was gonna call the show Monkey Business anyways. It just so happened that I seen this and said, "Oh, that's a monkey shit right there." He ain't even been on the job a whole year. Something didn't happen, right? So, but yeah, man, we all have to do our part, man, and we all have to do our part in this community. We have to understand that right now in my age group, like you said earlier, I got more time behind me now doing the front. I want to make sure that what I do with my last years is something productive and something that I've always been passionate about, but I also want to be true to myself. So to those people out there who heard anything that we said in regards to sexuality or anything, I want you to understand that above and beyond what you hear on a podcast or a television show or whatever, the number one person you have to be true to is yourself. Absolutely nothing else matters, right? It doesn't matter if we understand why you did it or we don't understand or we agree with you or none of that matters. The only thing matters is that you're true to yourself, right? And so when you're not all the way there, when you're not all the way to a place where you feel like you need to be, it's okay for you to be honest about that as well, right? My friendship or my affiliation with me ain't necessarily made up of people who all agree with everything I say. I don't mind some opposition. I don't mind having a debate. I don't mind having to say, okay, let's kind of figure out where we're at on this, as long as lines ain't crossed and you become a habitual line stepper, man. Right? My mama say, act up in public, get fucked up in public. That's what my mother used to say to me before we go in Kmart. So man, peace and love to everybody on the north side of Milwaukee, man. Keep doing what you do. Share the show, demand better, hold people accountable. Go for yours, get yours. Don't let people tell you what you can't do. And it damn sure shouldn't be based on your sexual preference or your race or your political beliefs or none of that. Right. At the end of the day, you're just a human, right? So it is what it is, man. I always tell y'all, like Willie D said, man, if your criticism of the black community outweighs your contribution, your ass is a coon. I see you Monday.